Hey guys. This is what if Naruto was in Young Justice. He used to live life on the run. Given a second chance in a new world, Naruto learns what it means to work with a team and be a hero. Hit like and subscribe if you like this one, and also please check the author in the description. Let's start. Chapter 1: New World. Dina lifted the chopsticks to her mouth and took a bite from her smoked salmon. It was absolutely delicious. This was her first time visiting Japan. She always meant to come visit the country but rarely ever has the free time to have a personal life since joining the Justice League. In fact, the reason that she is in the country at the moment is because she is on official Justice League business. The past 3 days she has been trying to find a certain child hero that sprung up in Tokyo recently. First mention of this new underage hero was about 3 months ago. It was one of several topics that Batman brought up in a meeting. She didn't think it was that big of a deal as long as the kid is helping others. But Batman is the type of person who doesn't trust a single person in the world, especially ones that display any sorts of superhuman powers. If a person in the world shows up with superhuman powers, whether villain, hero, or civilian, Batman will create a massive profile on the person in case that person ever becomes a threat. The Dark Knight doesn't take any chances when it comes to global safety. As much as she hates to admit it, Batman tends to save many lives with his paranoia, even those of his fellow heroes. Getting back on track, this new child hero popped up around 3 months ago during a terrorist bombing. Over 50 lives were saved that day by the child hero who revealed the power to manipulate and control the elements of water and wind. Amateur video of the incident showed a large tidal wave of water appearing out of thin air, creating a protective sphere around survivors. This wall of swirling water knocked away falling debris and doused flames in an instant. What was more impressive was when the wall of water exploded outward in a massive tidal wave, putting out the majority of the flames, followed by strong gusts of wind put out the rest. There was no video footage on the hero, but many survivors caught sight of a child in a black and silver outfit with golden blonde hair. A couple weeks later, more sightings of the child hero started to pop up. Soon enough, Tokyo had its own hero protecting it. A small chuckle comes from the gorgeous woman as she recalls some of the ridiculous names that are floating around the internet. Some people have too much free time on their hands. She reaches into her jacket, pulling out a photo of the young hero. He looks to be from 11 to 14, though it is hard to tell with the black face mask covering his face from the nose down. Definitely a blonde, and wears a gray vest over a long-sleeved black shirt. The image is blurry, making any other distinguishing physical characteristics near impossible to make out, even with the advanced technology at the fingertips of the League. If she had to harbor a guess, she would say that he is between 5 and 5 foot 5 inches at the tallest. Putting the picture away, she finishes her meal and leaves the small restaurant. The past 3 days she has been trying to spot any signs of the young hero, but was not having any luck. She was sent on this mission by Batman due to her ability to speak Japanese. Plus, she knew on some level he was counting on her physical appearance to be appealing to the child. It was extremely sexist, but if the kid truly is a teenager, then chances are, like most boys his age, he will give her a chance to talk, mostly to enjoy her presence. Boys and men of all ages tend to make time to listen to a pretty woman. Unfortunately, there hasn't been much criminal activity, and the small crimes that were committed didn't draw out her prey. If she couldn't make contact within the next 24 hours, she was going to head back home. No offense, but she was missing the action of doing real work to help others. She didn't get in the hero business to hunt down children. Tokyo, 2:00 p.m. Naruto sat on the edge of a 30-story building with a steaming bowl of noodles in hand. Ocean blue eyes are staring out over the city, drinking in the sights that few ever have the pleasure of enjoying. Being able to use chakra to run up sides of buildings helps to give him such perfect views. Slurping down some more noodles, he thinks on the past few months like usual. To think that a half-year ago he was in a completely different dimension and constantly on the run. He never would have had time to enjoy a nice bowl of noodles in the elemental nations. When one is a missing ninja, one has to keep on the move or risk being killed or worse, captured. Konoha labeled him as a missing ninja after he ran away at the age of 6. Normally, a child wouldn't be declared a missing ninja since he wasn't technically a ninja. In his case, he carried the most powerful of the tailed demons inside of him, and Konoha couldn't risk him falling into the hands of another village. As much as the citizens of his beloved village hated him, having the power of the nine-tailed demon was a military deterrent to other hidden villages. Plus, he snuck into the Hokage's private chambers and stole the forbidden scroll of seals. Pretty impressive for a 6-year-old with a year of training at the academy. Though at the same time it was extremely sad that a 6-year-old can get past the MBU. It wasn't hard for him to survive on his own. After spending 6 years of having to fend on his own in a village where everyone wanted to kill him, he developed incredible survival instincts. He had the ability to sense negative emotions, and used that to stay away from those that wished him harm. Extremely handy in avoiding Hunter Ninja. The main problem he had was learning to use jutsu due to his limited understanding of chakra. By limited he meant non-existent. All he knew about chakra was to make a leaf stick to his forehead, and the 3 basic jutsu taught at the academy. He sucked at the clone jutsu and barely could perform the replacement jutsu. However, he was a master at the transformation jutsu, which he used frequently to get out of trouble. It may be an academy-level jutsu, but it was one of his favorites. Once he turned 10, he gained a new ability that made understanding chakra and learning new jutsu much easier. A rare bloodline ability. With it, he managed to learn a great deal of jutsu and gained strength he needed to survive against new powerful enemies. By the time he turned 14, he was pretty strong, able to fight on even grounds with Chunin-level ninja. Jounin-level ninja and higher required him to tap into the demon's chakra, which was never a good thing as Kurama's chakra had the tendency to be felt for miles. It usually revealed his location in a heartbeat, and made it hard for him to escape. He grew tired of fighting against Konoha Hunter Ninja. He even fought against several members of an organization called Akatsuki that wanted to steal Kurama's power for their own desires. There was never a moment of rest. Until Kurama suggested tampering with a time-space seal created in the scroll. Kurama had the crazy idea that if he poured enough chakra into the seal, the demon could rip open a hole to a new dimension. Apparently the ability to travel to separate dimension was a power that the Sage of Sixth Path possessed. The idea of living in a new world where he would be able to move around freely without looking over his shoulder every second was too good an opportunity to pass up. Kurama did demand one thing in return should it work. The demon wanted to be set free. Naruto had no problem with that at all. The two worked on the seal for 2 weeks while constantly avoiding Akatsuki and Leaf Hunter Ninja. 6 months later, Naruto is in a city called Tokyo enjoying a bowl of ramen without any worries in the world. This is a strange new world. None of the people have any chakra at all. In this world, life exists without chakra. He is the only person in the world with chakra, well, at least in Tokyo, that has chakra and can use it. Surprisingly enough, that doesn't make him a god or a godlike figure. People may not possess chakra, but there are those with powers that dwarf his own. There is a whole league of people that have individuals with incredible powers that could go head-to-head with him. One name that is worldwide and is considered the strongest in the world is Superman. A man with the power to fly, shoot heat beams from his eyes, move at speeds that are faster than a speeding bullet, strength of a god, and a body that is stronger than steel. Naruto knows from experience that even the strongest of individuals can be beat, but he highly doubts anything short of a Kage-level ninja could hope to take on Superman. Then again, ninja don't fight head-on, instead using deception and various tricks to take down an opponent. Judging from the several videos he watched of Superman fighting, the superhero is a bit straightforward in his fighting style. That alone might be enough for an elite ninja to capitalize on. Naruto would love the chance to fight against Superman to test his own strength against the strongest in the world. Though his chakra reserves are much smaller now without Kurama. He is working on getting back to full strength. Speaking of superheroes, he is becoming something of a hero lately. 3 months ago he helped put out a large fire. He wasn't going to help at first. One thing one learns as a missing ninja is to keep hidden at all times so as not to leave a trail for Hunter Ninja to follow. However, he spotted a crying little girl that was wailing for her parents. Usually, he would have ignored such a scene. But he is in a new world far away from the elemental nations. There would be no point in Konoha or Akatsuki to come to this world since Kurama is the sole reason that he was being hunted and the demon is not with him any longer. So against all his instincts, he saved the girl and in the process saved dozens of other people. Naruto quickly fled the scene, not wanting to risk his luck. Later on, while eating some dumplings, he watched the news and was surprised that he was being hailed a hero. People that he saved or family and friends of those he saved were thanking him. He was being thanked by others. No one had ever thanked him for anything. Heck, no one ever wanted him around. These people that he didn't even know were happy he was around. Some even went on to say that they hoped he stayed to continue to protect Tokyo. It felt really nice. For the first time he didn't feel like an outcast. Ironic, it took him coming to a new world where he literally is an outcast in order to find acceptance. So over the next 3 months he helped take down a few criminals just to test the waters. The people in Tokyo loved him. They wanted to know more about him. Journalists were desperately trying to find information on him. Naruto had to admit that he loved being shown so much respect. It is the reason he decided to stay in Tokyo instead of traveling the world. Why leave a place where he is wanted? I could go without the nicknames though, thinks Naruto. Man, some of those hero names that people are trying to give to him are horrible. Kid Hero, Water Boy, and Masked Blonde are just a few that make him want to come forth and reveal his true name. Though if he did that his superhero name might turn out to be Fish Cake. Naruto is an awesome name, but people tend to think it is Fish Cake instead of Maelstrom. Oh well, maybe a name that he likes will pop up. Stranger things have happened. Placing the bowl in the pouch on the back of his waist, he stands up. He forms a hand seal and disappears in a swirl of leaves. Tokyo, 7:00 p.m. Hey pretty lady. Why don't you come with us? Yeah, we can have some fun. Dina smiles at the Yakuza thugs. Thanks, but I have other plans. She goes to walk past the gangster, but the 5 gangsters surround her, preventing her from leaving. Her eyes bored into the one blocking her path. He is a couple inches shorter than her with slanted black shades and a cocky smirk. I think you better take our offer, smirks the leader. I wouldn't want to hurt that pretty face. Laughter comes from the other members. All of them are leering at her with perverted gleams or licking their lips. No doubt the ideas running through their heads are degrading to all women. I was thinking the same thing, replies Dina. A frown forms on the man's face. He gives a small nudge with his head. The tallest member of the group steps forward, reaching out to grab her. In a quick movement, she grabs the offending hand and breaks the wrist with a vicious twist. A scream of pain erupts from the man. The others back away in fear as their fellow gang member falls to his knees, clutching his broken wrist in pain. Bitch! Kill her! The fight doesn't last more than a minute. Dina easily takes down all 5 thugs. Calculated punches and kicks soon leave all 5 Yakuza members lying on the ground unconscious. A sigh escapes the woman as she leaves the alley and continues to walk down the sidewalk. That wasn't any fun at all. She had hoped to relieve her boredom a bit, but idiots like that tend to be all talk, no substance. The world would be so much better without such people. Dina sees a shadow move out of the corner of her eye. Curiously, she keeps on walking, keeping an eye on the shadows. She spots another alley up ahead. Turning into it, her eyes try to track any strange movement. Her instincts are telling that someone is following her. Whoever you are, I suggest you come out, says Dina. The woman stands confidently. A sudden idea fills her head. You wouldn't happen to be the child hero that everyone is talking about? If you are, I have come to meet with you. I am the Black Canary, a member of the Justice League. In the shadows, Naruto stares upon the woman. She is definitely one of the most beautiful women that he ever laid eyes upon. The woman has curves in all the right places, with the black leather pants and top accentuating those curves. It gives him a great view of her impressive cleavage as well. He watched her fight against those Yakuza. Her movements were precise, elegant. This is a woman that was trained deeply in taijutsu. He was traveling in these parts of the city due to a recent rise in gang activity in these parts. Watching the news helped him find the spots where criminal activity was more common. He never expected to see a woman trained like him. Unfortunately, his interest in her caused him to accidentally reveal his presence. Now here they were in an alley with her trying to speak to him. She is using a language that is foreign to him. His eyes widen when he understands a couple words. Black Canary, thinks Naruto. Ocean blue eyes narrow upon the woman. Yes, he recognizes her. What is she doing here? Canary almost slaps her forehead, realizing the reason she was sent here. Sorry, I forgot that you might not understand English. She starts to speak in Naruto's native tongue. I have come here as a representative of the Justice League. We have heard about your talents and wish to offer you a chance to join the League. Naruto gains a suspicious gaze. Why would a League of Heroes want him to join? They don't know anything about him. Something is not right. Perhaps he needs to make this woman disappear in order to show the League that he is not going to be controlled by anyone. Well, you won't be joining the League as an official member. The truth is that a team of young heroes is being created to help train future young heroes like you into one day being full-fledged members of the Justice League. Explains Canary. I promise I am only here to talk. The former missing ninja can sense no negative emotions, which means that she is speaking the truth. Lying is a negative emotion due to its deceptive nature. It is impossible to lie to him or speak in half-truths. He can sense such negative emotions without fail. That means that this is Black Canary of the Justice League, and she truly desires to recruit him to join a team of young heroes. He does like being a hero. The respect and gratitude he gets is like a dream come true. It was one of his dreams growing up to be a great hero like the fourth Hokage. A dream he was forced to give up once he realized that there was a demon sealed inside of him, and that the people would never be able to see past that. Now he was being given the chance to join the greatest heroes in the world. Canary waits patiently for a reply. She is starting to think that maybe she was talking to thin air. Sighing, she turns around to leave. Her eyes widen in surprise to see a kid blocking her path. He stands at average height with a slim build. The boy wears a white hoodie with the hoodie back to reveal spiky golden blonde hair being held up by a black high-8. On the metal plate of his high-8 is a 9 with a scratch through it. The rest of the outfit consisted of a white long-sleeved hoodie, baggy black pants, and blue Nike sneakers. Though she is unable to see his face, judging from the amazing ocean blue eyes and golden blonde hair, she knows that under that mask is a face that can break any woman's heart. So, are you interested? Smiles Canary. I work better on my own, replies Naruto. Sorry, but the Justice League is a team. No matter how strong an individual is, there are some problems that can't be solved by alone. Naruto can't argue with that. There are many fights that he would have ended up dead if not for Kurama's help. He reaches up, scratching the back of his head. Canary finds his scratching to be endearing. Okay, I will give it a try. But if I don't like it, I am leaving, says Naruto. You are free to leave whenever you desire. She walks over to him. Her eyes notice the way his body tenses, preparing to take her down should she prove to be a threat. Giving a reassuring smile, she stops in front of him. Do you have a name? Uzumaki Naruto. Fish cake? Smirks Canary. Naruto gives her a deadpan expression. Maelstrom. Canary laughs in amusement before walking out the alley. He pulls up his hoodie and follows the woman. Break Batman is doing one last check on the computer. 4 ice villains attacking on the same day was too much of a coincidence for him to overlook. There is something going on in secret, but he has been unable to discover that secret. It is something that he will have to work on at a later time. At the moment, he needs to prepare a new team. A team of young heroes that will operate in the shadows. He has high hopes for this team of young heroes. The Justice League needs a team that can operate outside the law. Criminals are proving to be more elusive and organized than in the past. This team will be able to take down those criminal organizations while the Justice League can maintain its public image. He had been hoping to create a similar team with more experienced heroes, but this is even better than his original plans. These young heroes can be trained from scratch, making them much more cohesive in the long run. An incoming message interrupts Batman's thoughts. Canary's image appears on the screen. I found the boy. He agreed to join the team, but there might be an issue. What is it? He speaks Japanese. It is going to make communication between him and the other members very difficult, says Canary. We knew that could be an obstacle from the beginning. Batman stares at Canary. Any information at all on him? Canary frowns. There is no existing record on him at all. I am at the mountain and ran his name through every database in the world that we have access to. The information appears on a screen opposite her image. Batman's eyes narrow upon the name, Uzumaki Naruto. Now that is an interesting name. He is not familiar with the last name Uzumaki. Several years he spent in Japan training under various martial arts masters, so he knows the culture very well. He even agreed to give me a blood sample and nothing. Naruto says that he is an orphan that grew up on the streets, and I believe him. I can tell that he is not giving me the full story, but we all have our secrets. Batman runs the blood sample through several illegal databases. How is he adjusting to the new surroundings? In the same manner that you would, smirks Canary. I swear it feels like he is a spitting image of you. Batman doesn't find humor in that statement. In fact, that comment worries him a great deal. Still, it is better to have this unknown child working under the command of the Justice League than out there on his own. A child with the power to manipulate the elements is a weapon that many like Luthor or Raj will desire as a pawn. Men like that are even able to sway experienced warriors like Batman to their side. I am on my way. The screens vanish. Batman stays a second before heading toward the Zeta tubes. There is much on the Dark Knight's mind. Mount Justice in a flash of light, Naruto and Canary appear inside the mountain. I need to contact a friend. I will be back shortly. Feel free to explore the cave. She walks towards the main computer terminal. Naruto spins around to see the point where he came into the cave. It doesn't make any sense. A second ago he was in a phone booth and the next second he is inside this carved-out mountain. Never did he encounter such technology, or a jutsu like that. No, there was that one individual in Akatsuki that had the power to become intangible and teleport to any location. But to be able to teleport to any location at will is a power that any ninja would kill to have. He never thought that it could be replicated through technology. Then again, the technology in the elemental nations pales in comparison to the technology in this world. He learned that within a few days of arriving in Tokyo. The Justice League's technology is even more advanced than anything he used in Tokyo, but that is not saying much as he lived on rooftops and kept out of touch with society. Only technology he used since arriving was a vending machine. Though he shouldn't be surprised too much that the Justice League has such technology at its fingertips. It explains how certain members like Canary without the ability to fly or run at super speeds is able to get around the world so fast. Naruto begins to examine the carved-out mountain. Much better than the places he used to stay at. A wave of negative emotions hits his senses, making him turn to face that direction. There is an older boy walking towards him. Superman? Ocean blue eyes narrow upon the boy that is almost an identical copy to Superman. No, that is not Superman. Superman is a grown man, not a teenager. This must be the son of Superman. Superboy stares at the unknown boy that is eyeing him critically. There is no information at all on the short blonde. Cadmus made sure to telepathically download information on every single hero in the world, even the ones not in the Justice League. He has information on sidekicks as well. Who is this new kid? Recognized Aqualad B02. Recognized Robin B01. Recognized Kid Flash B03. In a large flash of light, 3 sidekicks appear. Oh yeah, time to go on some real missions. I am so psyched, smirks Kid. This place reminds me of the Batcave, smirks Robin. Aqualads notices an unknown individual across from Superba. It is good to see you again, Superba. Superba gives a small nod. The protege of Aquaman turns to face the newcomer. I am Aqualad, it is nice to meet you. He offers his hand. Naruto stares at the hand, making new move to shake it. Kid raises an eyebrow. Talk about friendly. Who is this kid? Aqualad and Kid look at Robin. I got nothing, frowns Robin. Batman steps forward, drawing the attention of all the sidekicks. A small screen opens up behind Batman that begins to translate his words into Japanese text. Welcome to the original headquarters of the Justice League. Since you are so determined to fight the good fight, you will do it under League terms. Red Tornado has volunteered to supervise the team, Canary will be the team trainer, and I will deploy you on missions. Real missions? Robin notices that his words was translated as well. Why is there a screen translating all the words into kanji? Covert missions, states Batman. The Justice League will still handle the big images. Flash smirks. There is a reason we have the symbols on our chest. But the bad guys are proving to be more resourceful, finishes Aquaman. The 6 of you will be a team. Batman gestures at Naruto. His name is Uzumaki Naruto, and he will joining the team as the 6th member. He speaks Japanese, but will be taking English lessons from Canary and Red Tornado. Robin glances around. Wait, who is the 5th member? Batman looks behind the team. The team turns around to see Martian Manhunter and a pretty girl wearing a similar outfit standing next to the Justice League member. She is very pretty with long red hair falling down past her shoulders, green skin, and developing curves. The girl wears a white top, blue cape, blue skirt, and matching blue boots. Hi, greets the girl. It is an honor to be on the team. Wally nudges Robin. I am liking this gig more and more. Giving a charming smile, he starts to talk to the girl. Hey, I am Kid Flash. That is Robin, Aqualad, and Superboy, but feel free to forget their names. Robin and Aqualad follow Kid Flash over to the new girl. Hey Superboy, Naruto, come meet Miss M, waves Robin. Superboy walks over to the group. Naruto turns away instead, facing Batman. There is something about the Dark Knight that commands respect and power. It is like being in the presence of a Hokage. Batman may not have any superpowers like other members on the Justice League, but Naruto can see that Batman is a true warrior. A true warrior doesn't need superpowers to be great. No, all that is needed for a true warrior is training and discipline. Batman has that in spades. I will be staying in Tokyo when not on missions or training, says Naruto. Batman shows no emotion. The mountain has plenty of rooms. I am more comfortable living on my own. Very well. Batman reaches onto his utility belt, drawing a watch. He tosses it at Naruto. Naruto places the watch around his wrist with a small click. That watch will issue an alert when there is a training or mission. However, due to the need for you to learn English, you will have separate training from the rest of the team. Understood. Naruto turns around, walking over to the Zeta tubes. The computer activates as a bright light fills the cavern. Recognize Uzumaki Naruto, B06. The ninja vanishes from the cavern. Aqualad frowns. This is supposed to be a team, yet one of their teammates doesn't seem interested in getting to know them at all. He never heard of an Uzumaki Naruto. That doesn't mean much, as his interaction with other sidekicks was limited to Robin, Kid Flash, and Speedy. He knows that the world is filled with heroes of all ages, but he never met a sidekick that acted like Batman, and that is saying something considering that Robin is Batman's sidekick. For the first time, he is starting to worry that this team might not work. Chapter 2: Boredom. Naruto sits at the computer with a bored expression. It has been a week since he was invited to join the team. In that time there has been no missions or training. The no missions he understands since the team is new and has no experience out in the field, but the no training part is strange. He understands that the Justice League is busy fighting criminals all over the world. However, this team will never work without proper training. He knows this from experience. It was a short time after learning a couple jutsu from the Forbidden Scroll of Seals that he thought knowing a couple jutsu made him invincible. If not for Kurama, he would have died against a couple hunter ninja. That was when he learned that in order to become strong he had to train and not just focus on learning a few jutsu. He may have never been on a team, but he figures that it works in the same manner. One needs to train together in order to work as a team. But maybe he is wrong. The Justice League is a team organization, so they know better than him. The past few days he has been spending his time learning English from Red Tornado. Red Tornado is an emotionless android that doesn't play around or joke. A vast difference from Kurama, who constantly made degrading comments and insulted others. It was an interesting experience learning from an emotionless android. Tornado never strayed from the topic at hand. All the teaching was focused on learning English with no distractions. Naruto was not sure how he felt on Tornado as a sensei. On one hand, he was learning a great deal and could understand a small amount of English, even speak a few words. But on the other hand, he couldn't get a single read on the android. Of course, Tornado was not the main reason that Naruto was learning at an accelerated rate. Naruto was using a special ability that he activated when he was 9. A special pair of eyes that allow him to memorize and copy anything that he witnesses. Kurama hated his eyes due to the fact that an evil man in the past used the eyes to control the demon fox. It was that reason he made a promise to never use the Sharingan on Kurama. It was during a fight in the Land of Earth that he activated the Sharingan for the first time. He ran into another missing ninja that was looking to steal the forbidden scroll of seals from him. The missing ninja was a Chunin-level ninja. Naruto was 9 years old and didn't even know the basics of chakra control with 2 Academy Jutsu under his belt. The fight, if one could call it that, was a beating that involved Naruto being bounced around on the ground like a rubber ball. Kurama channeled chakra to Naruto's eyes in order to help him with tracking the Earth Ninja's movements. Technically, it worked as Naruto was able to follow the Earth Ninja's movements to deliver a fatal blow. It wasn't until a couple days later when Kurama finished healing his wounds that Naruto practiced channeling chakra to his eyes when he discovered that when he channeled chakra to them his ocean blue eyes bled red with a single black tomo in each. That was when Kurama explained to him that he inherited a powerful Dijitsu known as the Sharingan. Once he developed the Sharingan, he was able to see the way the chakra was channeled by watching other ninja. He watched ninja channel chakra to their feet to walk on walls and water. As his Sharingan grew more advanced, he was able to see through genjutsu, copy ninjutsu and taijutsu of his enemies, and gain better control over Kurama's chakra. Kurama hated the Sharingan, but even the demon fox had to admit that the Dijitsu came in handy when Akatsuki started to hunt him. The Sharingan was a Dijitsu that was inherited by those with the Uchiha blood. Kurama theorized that Naruto must have had distant Uchiha relatives in his ancestry. It might have been the reason that the 4th Hokage chose to seal Kurama inside Naruto in hopes that the Uchiha blood would help in controlling the demon's power. This was just a theory, but it did make sense. Naruto didn't care much about being related to the Uchiha clan because those bastards were as mean to him as the rest of the villagers. All he cared about was learning to become strong so that anyone that tried to hurt him would end up face first in the dirt. He was using the Sharingan now to copy and memorize the English language. Using the Sharingan, he memorized every single kanji and Ramaji translation to English. Unfortunately, Tornado is an android, therefore doesn't have any lip movements. If he was training with Canary, he could use the Sharingan to copy her lip movements in order to learn new words. But he didn't want to reveal his Sharingan to the Justice League or the team until he knew that he could trust them without a doubt. A true ninja never reveals his trump card until necessary. Naruto knows that he needs to learn English to communicate with his teammates, but this training is so boring. He'd much rather spend his time fighting crime in Tokyo or training to learn some new jutsu. Turning the computer off, he heads to the Zeta Tube. Time to head back home. July 15th. 10:00 am. Do you plan on giving them a mission anytime soon? Canary leans against the console. Batman doesn't even spare her a glance as he continues to type at the computer. The team will receive a mission as soon as I have one for them. A frown forms on Canary's face. She was never on board with the team to begin with. The idea of using kids as spies rubbed her the wrong way. She ended up going along with it because she knew that it was better to have the young heroes working under Justice League supervision than running off on their own. But if Batman doesn't give them a mission soon, that team will be running off on their own like they did at Cadmus. Batman glances at Canary. I am searching for a mission to give them, but one that will not get them killed. He goes back to typing. All of them have been trained individually, but a team operates in a different manner. If they can't learn to be patient, then we might as well let them operate on their own, as it will yield the same results as giving them missions they are not prepared to handle. A sigh comes from the heroine. As usual, he is right. We need to do something to make them feel as if we are taking the team seriously. None of them are ready to be fighting crime on their own, says Canary. Perhaps a little team training wouldn't hurt. Not all of them are waiting away for a mission. Batman pulls up a video of Naruto exploring the cave and using the training facility. The first thing that he asked about after his first language lesson with Tornado was how to use the training simulator. He has continuously used it over the past week when not in Tokyo. Canary is impressed. It looks like there is at least one member on the team that is taking this team seriously. None of the other young heroes have been taking advantage of the facility at the mountain, or Batman would have brought it up. As for his lessons, in a month or two he will be able to speak fluently in English. Her eyes widen. That fast? Yes, his learning rate is very high, says Batman with a voice full of suspicion. He is a kid. Canary gives the Dark Knight a look. I can tell from his eyes that Naruto has not had an easy life. You were worried that him being on his own could make him at risk to people like Luther, but spying on him might make him turn away from using his powers for good. The best thing to do is earn his trust and let him come to us. Batman glances at Canary. She doesn't back down. The subject is changed when an alert comes in from Captain Atom. Batman and Canary drop the argument to face a bigger issue. July 18th, 9 o'clock. I'm humming a tune. Miss Martian walks around the base. She was hoping to run into Superbutt to start up a conversation. He showed up to eat the breakfast that she cooked, but took the plate and left the dining area before she could invite him to eat with her. It has been almost 2 weeks since she started to live at the mountain. In that time she has interacted with Superboy for barely a few minutes at a time during meals. She really wanted to get to know him better, but he didn't seem to have any interest in her at all. Today was the day that she was going to change that. Or at least she hoped. Now that she truly thinks on the matter, she has not spoken to any of her teammates since the team was officially formed. The 6 of them were supposed to be a team, yet none of them interacted at all with each other. She had hoped that when she came to Earth that she would make friends. When her uncle offered her the chance to join this new team with others her age, she jumped at the opportunity. A chance to finally fit in. The problem is that none of her friends are around. All she has been doing the past 2 weeks is cooking new recipes and trying to get Superbot to give her more than a minute each day. She is starting to think that maybe she won't make friends here on Earth. Such thoughts lead her to the memories of her lonely days on Mars. Megan enters the training room in hopes of finding Superbot. She doesn't find Superbot, but she does run into another teammate. In the middle of the training room doing one-handed handstand push-ups is the 6th member of the team, Uzumaki Naruto. The only member of the team that didn't introduce himself to her. Her ruby red eyes examine the younger boy. He is 14 years old, but has a body that grown men would kill to have. There is not a single ounce of fat on his body. Naruto is not overly bulky, but with each push-up his muscles bulge, revealing a muscular body gained from years of extreme physical exercise. A blush heated her cheeks as she realized she was staring. It is hard not to stare when he isn't wearing a shirt. Naruto pushed straight up, launching 10 feet into the air from a single arm thrust. Twisting around, he lands lightly on his toes. He turns his head to look straight at Miss Martian. Megan splutters, realizing that she was caught. Hi, blushes Megan. I am Miss Martian, but you can call me Megan. There is no response from the boy. Hello, Megan. She snaps her fingers. I forgot you don't speak English. My name is Megan, don't be alarmed. I am using telepathy to speak to you. There is no shock or surprise from Naruto. He hears the voice in his head and continues to stare at her with an emotionless expression. Megan shifts nervously under such an intense stare. She used her telepathy to talk to him because mental communication can instantly be translated into whatever his native language is so that the two can talk. Now she is starting to regret this whole thing. Uzumaki Naruto, nice to meet you, replies Naruto mentally. A smile lights up her face. I hope I am not interrupting. I was looking for Superba. I didn't mean to bother you, apologizes Megan. You are not bothering me. I am getting some training in is all. Naruto crouches into a fighting stance. He begins to throw punches and kicks at an invisible opponent. His eyes drift over to Megan. Did you wish to train? I can come back at a later time. Megan throws up her hands, shaking her head. No thanks, I am not good at physical activities. Isn't that the point of training? To increase your skill in a certain area? I didn't think of it like that. She gains a light blush and embarrassment. Still, I focus more on my telepathy and telekinesis. A shrug comes from the boy. He continues to practice his taijutsu. Megan bites her lip, not knowing what else to say. Naruto isn't bothered at all by the silence. He said all that he wanted to say, so in his mind the conversation is long since over. What are your powers? Mine are telekinesis and telepathy. But I already told you that, plus we are talking mentally, rambles Megan. A pause comes from the ninja. He contemplates whether to tell her the truth about his abilities. Sooner or later the team is going to learn about his abilities. In the ninja world, a ninja needs to guard one's secrets in order to have a trump card against enemies. This is not the elemental nations. And like he thought earlier, he will eventually reveal his abilities during a mission. I use ninjutsu and taijutsu, answers Naruto. Ninjutsu? Taijutsu? Naruto brings his hands together and form 3 hand seals at speeds that Megan can barely follow. She is amazed at the speed that he formed those strange hand gestures. Transformation no jutsu, thinks Naruto. A cloud of smoke explodes outward. The smoke envelopes Naruto. When it clears, Megan's eyes widen upon seeing an identical copy of herself. You shape-shifted. No, it is ninjutsu, replies Megan. Naruto. Megan tilts her head. Is it similar to magic? Sure. Sorry, apologizes Megan. He feels a bit guilty. I am able to use ninjutsu through the use of chakra. Chakra is the combination of physical and spiritual energy. In a cloud of smoke, he reverts to his original form. I can use it to cast illusions and manipulate the illusions. The transformation I used earlier was an illusion, not an actual transformation. Understanding appears in her eyes. I get it. Megan smiles, feeling a bit closer to him. I forgot to tell you that I can shape-shift. She begins to transform into a girl version of Naruto. Naruto stares at her, not impressed with the transformation. Smiling sheepishly, she turns back to her original form. Boys are harder to mimic. You should train that. It could come in handy on a mission, says Naruto. I never thought about that. I guess I could work on it, nods Megan. Can you do anything else? What is taijutsu? Taijutsu is hand-to-hand combat. My skills in that area are more pronounced when fighting against an opponent. I could show you in a spar, explains Naruto. Megan takes a step back, shaking her head. No thanks, I'll take your word for it. Naruto is a bit disappointed, but doesn't show it. So who is your mentor? Mentor? The superhero that trained you. Robin has Batman, Kid Flash has the Flash, no one trained me. Everything I learned on my own. Oh, Megan doesn't know what else to say to that. She has a feeling that there is more to the story. As much as she would love to learn more, she can tell from his tone that he is not going to say anything about his past. Recognize B02 Aqualad. In a flash of light, Aqualad in civilian clothing enters the mountain. Megan smiles, glad to have another teammate to talk to. Hey Aqualad! Beams Megan. Naruto turns to face the protege of Aquaman. Greetings Megan. Naruto. Smiles Aqualad. Naruto gives a small nod. He walks over to where his shirt lays and puts it on. How did it go with Speedy? Will he be joining us? Aqualad shakes his head. I am afraid not. He has decided to go his own path. Megan gives an apologetic look. Recognize B01, Robin. Naruto frowns. It looks like there will be no more training since the entire team has decided to show up. He hasn't seen any of them in about 2 weeks, and the one day he chooses to get some training down, all of them start to show up. Yo! Waves Robin. You ready to get our first mission? Megan, have you seen Red Tornado? He went out for a bit, and said he would be back by 11, answers Superba. The clone walks towards the group with a nonchalant expression. Why do you want to see him? Why else? We want a mission. Robin gains an upset expression. It has been almost 2 weeks, and we haven't had a single mission. I am tired of waiting around. Time to get some action. Aqualad nods in agreement. We didn't start this team to play around. Recognize B03, Kid Flash. Is he here yet? Kid runs towards the others in civilian clothing. Robin pulls up the monitor. A smirk plays on the boy wonder's face. He is coming in now. Let's get going. Kid runs off on his own. Robin and Aqualad follow. Superba shrugs before following them. Megan looks at Naruto. I guess we should join them. Naruto stares at her blankly. She smiles encouragingly at him. Flying into the air, she heads after the others. A sigh escapes the ninja. Reluctantly, he heads in the same direction as the others. Red Tornado makes his descent towards the ground. The android notices the sidekicks all waiting outside. Landing, the android walks towards the group. Why have you all come out here to meet me? We were hoping to get a mission, smirks Wally. Batman handles mission assignments. Yeah, but it has been over a week. Red Tornado interrupts Robin. You will be tested soon enough. Until then, you can keep busy by familiarizing yourself with the cave. Robin, Wally, and Aqualad share a look. The words that Speedy spoke to them last night come back to them. Your Junior Justice League is a joke. It is meant to keep you busy and in your place. This is not a social club, frowns Aqualad. True, but I hear social interaction is key to team building. Those are the last words that Red Tornado speaks before heading inside the cave. Naruto stares up at the clouds. He understands a little of the language, but not enough to keep up with the conversation. Certain words and phrases registered in his mind. So paying half attention, he chose to stare up at the clouds. It is a beautiful day. Kid Flash scowls. Keep us busy. Does he really think we are buying that? Frowns Robin. What do we do now? We tour the clubhouse, says Aqualad just as upset as the others. Well, Superba and I live here. We can give a tour, offers Megan. Superba folds his arms across his chest. Don't include me. Kid appears next to Megan. Will do, a private tour sounds much better. No one said anything about private, sighs Robin. Team building, we all go, states Aqualad. Megan looks over at Naruto. We are going to tour the cave. I already know the entire layout, replies Naruto. Red Tornado said that socializing will help team building, says Megan. Very well, Aqualad, Kid, and Robin look between Megan and Naruto. The three then look at Superboy. Superboy gives them a shrug. Okay, this way, smiles Megan. The four glance at each other before shrugging. Naruto lags behind the group, not bothering to listen to the guided tour. Break. So why did the League stop using the base? Asks Superba. Robin answers that question. The Joker found out the location and launched a massive attack on the Justice League. Most of the cave was destroyed. It forced the League to move to a new headquarters. Superba frowns. So they traded it in for a tourist trap? Megan's eyes widen. Wait, if the bad guys know where we are, what is to stop them from attacking us? We must be on constant alert. Laughter comes from Robin. The bad guys don't know that we know about them knowing the location of the cave. Megan looks at Robin in confusion. He means to say that we are hiding in plain sight, explains Kid. Oh, that makes sense. Superbus sniffs the air. Naruto picks up on the scent a second after the clone. I smell smoke. My cookies. Megan flies off in the direction of the smell. Kid shrugs before speeding after her. The others soon follow. She flies straight into the kitchen. Using her telekinetic powers, she opens up the oven door and levitates a tray of burnt cookies onto the counter. I was trying out Granny's recipe from episode 17. She trails off. Naruto's eyes narrow. I wanted to bake something nice for the team. Robin chuckles coming up beside the girl. I am sure they would have turned out great. He doesn't seem to mind. All turn to look at Kid, who is munching down on the burnt cookies. What? Kid swallows. I have a serious metabolism. I'll make more. It was sweet of you to make any, says Aqualad. Megan blushes lightly. Thanks, Aqualad. We are off duty. Call me Caldurum. In fact, my friends call me Calder. My name is Wally. Wally leans forward, giving her a wink. See how I trust you with my real name, unlike Dark Shades over there. Batman has forbid him from giving out his name. Robin sends a light glare at Wally that is hidden behind the shades. My name is easy, it is Ngan Moores, but you can call me Megan. It is an Earth name, and I am on Earth now. Smiles Megan. Superba turns, preparing to leave the room. A telepathic voice belonging to Megan fills everyone's head. Don't worry, Superba, we will find you an Earth name too. The clone's eyes widen. Get out of my head. What? The others wince, not used to having a voice in their head besides their own. Naruto stands with a bored expression. This is how everyone communicates on Mars. Megan, stop. Calder gives her a hard look. On Earth, that is an extreme invasion of privacy. Megan lowers her eyes. I didn't know, just stay out of my head. Superboy stomps out of the room with rage in his eyes. Cadmus left him with a bad taste for telepathy, whispers Wally. Megan's eyes fill with guilt. Her eyes glance over at Naruto, who remained silent. It doesn't bother me, shrugs Naruto. In order to break the tension, Megan comes up with an idea. Hello, Megan, I know what we can do. She flies out of the room. The others follow, with Superboy sitting on the couch. Superboy senses someone staring at him and turns his head. Naruto stares at Superboy with a blank expression. Move, says Naruto awkwardly. Superboy frowns. The ninja turns, leaving the room. Standing up, Superboy follows the ninja. Megan leads the team to the hangar. This is my Martian bioship. A large red and black sphere rests in the middle of the hangar. Robin, Calder, and Wally all share a look at the so-called ship. Cute, not very aerodynamic but cute, says Wally. It is at rest, silly. I will wake it up, smiles Megan. Using her telepathy, she commands the ship to wake up. The red sphere transforms into a large alien ship. It spins around so that the back of the ship is facing the team. The skin of the ship morphs, providing an entrance. Come on! Naruto examines the ship. For a moment, when no one is looking, his ocean blue eyes bleed to red with 3 black tomo. A second later, his eyes are back to normal. He can't believe that this large thing is actually alive. It possesses its own unique energy or life force. The ship reminds him of Kisame's sword Samahata. Samahata was also a living object, not just a mere sword. Naruto, are you coming? Asks Megan mentally. He heads up the ramp, making a mental note to examine the ship further in the future. The ship transforms on the inside, creating a cockpit with 6 total seats. Megan takes a seat in the chair at the head of the ship, while the others sit down in the other seats. Robin takes a seat and 4 black tendrils immediately strap him in. This is pretty cool, smirks Wally. Red Tornado, please open the hangar door, says Megan. Incredible, smiles Robin. Wally sighs dreamily. She sure is. He is staring at Megan. She turns to look at him. I mean the ship, and like all ships it is a she. Fast with his feet, not with his mouth. Dude! Calder leans over to whisper to Superba. I don't need to be a psychic to know that you are feeling guilty. Superba glances at Calder. There is a knowing smile on Calder's face. You overreacted. It happens, just say you're sorry. Megan stares at Superba with worried eyes. Robin notices the exchange. Give it time, he will come around. He doesn't seem to like me much, frowns Megan. You two do realize he has super hearing, right? Says Wally. Superbo heard every word but continues to stare out the window. I know, how about showing us some of the Martian shape-shifting? Naruto pokes at the side of the ship. The entire ship is organic. It is like Megan's clothes that allowed her to shape-shift her body in uniform. He has never encountered anything like this. Is this some type of alien technology? How advanced is the technology in this world to be able to create living organisms? Red Tornado to team. There has been an emergency alert triggered at Happy Harbor Power Plant. You are to investigate the situation, covertly. Sending coordinates now. Copy that, adjusting course, replies Megan. Red Tornado is keeping us busy again, states Robin. Megan glances at Robin. A simple fire led you to Superbo. Who knows what this will lead us to? We should investigate the cause. I think I know, says Superbo. All turn to look outside the window. Heading straight towards them is a large tornado. Megan grips the controls tightly. The ship is spun around several times before the tornado continues on towards the power plant. She lands the ship in the parking lot. The team rushes out to see explosions coming from inside the power plant. Robin, are tornadoes common in? Calder turns to see his friend gone. Megan gasps in surprise. Where did he go? She looks around trying to find where the boy wonder went. All that is heard is a childlike laughter. Calder groans in annoyance. Why does Robin always run off on his own? No way am I getting left behind. Wally puts on his goggle before taking off at high-level speeds. Naruto was slightly impressed with Robin and Kid Flash. Robin moved like a ninja, able to vanish even in broad daylight. Kid possessed high Chunin level speed almost on par with a Jounin. That is impressive since Naruto's own speed was at Chunin level, currently. Superb uses his super strength to leap high into the air ready for a fight as well. Let's go. They might need us. Calder draws his water bearers. Megan flies into the air following her friend. Inside the power plant, a blast of wind sends Robin flying backwards. I got this! Wally runs at high speeds at the individual covered in red and black armor. The villain creates a gust of wind on the ground, spinning Wally out of control before tossing him through the far wall. The speedster lies on the ground nursing a major headache. Superbo runs through the front doors. Who is your friend? I don't know, but he plays rough, grits Robin. Standing up, the boy wonder reaches into his jacket, pulling out a couple birdarangs. A robotic voice comes from the villain. Forgive me, you may call me Mr. Twister. Mr. Twister stands over 6 feet tall with shining bright red and black armor with several blue tubes connected on various parts. I was hoping to fight a real hero, not some kids. This is very disturbing, says the villain. Robin scowls. I am sorry to disturb you. I will try to make you more turbed. He tosses the birdarangs at Mr. Twister. Mr. Twister creates a gust of wind, knocking away the birdarangs with incredible ease. Superbo leaps into the air, aiming a fist at the villain. Forming a small twister, Mr. Twister spins Superbo around before tossing him straight at Robin. The two young heroes crash into each other, rolling across the ground. Superbo! Robin! Gasps Megan. She drops down, landing next to the two. Calder runs into the power plant with his water bearers taking the form of dual swords. This is not a villain that I recognize. Run along, children, I have more important matters to deal with, states Mr. Twister. We are not children, glares Robin. Respectively, you are. A yell of rage comes from Superba. He charges at Mr. Twister. Superba never even gets close as a small twister sucks him up, spins him around, and tosses him away. Robin tosses down several smoke grenades. A thick black smoke blinds Mr. Twister. Such an attack might have been useful against other villains, but against Mr. Twister it is hardly even a distraction. Mr. Twister blows away the smoke and raises its arm to block a kick from Robin. Robin is struck by a high blast of wind, sending him flying into the charging Calder. Megan comes flying at Mr. Twister from above, but soon she is sucked into a twister and slammed into the ground. I grow tired of babysitting. Mr. Twister creates a large twister that blasts the young heroes in every direction. I hope now you all know your place, says Mr. Twister. Several shurikens strike Mr. Twister in the back. The supervillain spins around to see a sixth attacker. Naruto has the hoodie up to hide his hair, and a black face mask covers the lower portion of his face. So there is another child. You should have stayed hidden, says Mr. Twister. A powerful torrent of spiraling wind heads at Naruto. Naruto moves at high speeds, dodging the tornado. He runs around Mr. Twister, tossing 3 kunai. The kunai are easily batted away with a light gust. Your pitiful weapons will not help you. Now be gone! Mr. Twister creates a powerful tornado that starts to rip the entire building to shreds. Superboy grabs Robin and makes a run towards the exit. Megan and Aqualad are right behind Superba. The building starts to collapse, almost burying the team alive. Outside, Wally stands up, rubbing his head. A loud crashing sound makes him look ahead. His eyes widen in horror. Oh no, guys! He rushes towards the collapsed building as fast as he can. Mr. Twister floats outside the rubble. I am now turbed, thanks for that. What did you do to my team? Yells Wally. Mr. Twister turns to face the speedster. I would think that was obvious. Generating a small tornado, he launches it at Wally. Wally is sucked in and sent flying into the debris. Before the speedster hits it, an invisible force catches him. I got you, Wally, says Megan. I would have thought that you all would have learned your... The ground behind Mr. Twister bursts open. Out of the ground emerges Naruto, flashing through hand seals that even Wally can barely keep up with. He finishes the sequence of hand seals and takes a deep breath while lifting his right hand to his mouth. Naruto forms a ring with his right index finger and thumb, then exhales. Katan, Gokakyu no Jutsu. A large fireball twice his size is spit from his mouth that heads straight at Mr. Twister. Mr. Twister has no time to dodge from the point-blank attack. The fireball consumes Mr. Twister before a large explosion fills the area. Naruto lands on the ground knowing that the battle is over. He poured enough chakra into that jutsu to take out a building. Even if Mr. Twister created a barrier of wind, it would have strengthened the power of the fire jutsu. Wind feeds fire, making it more powerful. No way, gasps Wally. Did he just exhale a giant fireball? Mutters Robin. Calder stares in awe as the smoke still fills the area. I have never seen such magic. Amazing, whispers Megan. Superboy remains silent, staring into the smoke. The smoke soon clears to reveal a completely destroyed android. Naruto stands among the rubble with an emotionless expression. Mr. Twister's body is scattered all around in thousands of pieces. He glances at the team. All of them are staring at him with disbelief or suspicion. It doesn't matter to him. The mission was accomplished. Threat to Happy Harbor Power Plant was neutralized. Mission complete. Chapter 3. First Mission Too Easy. Recognizing B-02 Aqualad. Out of the Zeta tube emerges Aqualad. He is dressed in his regular hero gear. Aqualad looks to see Robin, Miss Martian, Superba, and Naruto already waiting for him. Recognize B-03, Kid Flash. Kid Flash comes out behind Aqualad. I am so ready for this mission, smirks Kid. The young speedster falls silent upon seeing Batman not amused with his tardiness. Quickly, Kid joins the others, ready to hear the mission with barely contained excitement. Batman begins to speak now that the entire team is assembled. Santa Prisca is the worldwide producer of the illegal steroid venom. Multiple holographic screens appear behind Batman. Naruto keeps his emotions in check as he stares at the images. The former missing ninja has never seen such advanced technology. Several images of the island Santa Prisca from different angles. Lately, all shipping has stopped despite the fact that satellite imaging shows that the factory is still producing the illegal drug. Your assignment will be to infiltrate the island, figure out what is going on, and report back to the League. Who is the leader? Asks Robin. Batman and Red Tornado share a glance. That will be left up to you all to decide, states the Dark Knight. Robin gains a confident smirk. Red Tornado steps forward, placing 3 cases on the ground. In each case is stealth gear. It is not required to wear, but stealth is a major part of your mission. Being able to blend into the environment is key to a covert operation. Cool, grins Kid Flash. Naruto begins to poke at the holographic screens. The technology of this world is amazing. He wonders what else the technology in this world can do. Man, it is almost like looking at some rare and crazy jutsu. Come on, Naruto, smiles Megan. Okay, Bioship Miss Martian sits in the pilot's seat with her hands in the 2 glowing white lights. We are 3 miles away from Santa Prisca. Aqualad stands up, pressing the center of his shirt. His outfit turns completely courtesy of the new stealth tech built into his suit. Almost at the first drop point. I am ready. Soon enough, the ship hovers over the ocean a half-mile out from the island. A hole opens up in the bottom of the ship. Aqualad dives through the hole straight into the ocean. He swims through the water at inhuman speeds. Swimming by a dozen miles, he comes upon a large net. He uses his water bearers to create a sword to slice through the net. In no time at all, he shoots out of the water, landing on the beach. Running over to the heat and motion sensors, he attaches a device to them. It turns from red to green, signaling that it is on. This is Aqualad. Heat and motion sensors are on an endless loop. I am on my way to the rendezvous point, speaks Aqualad. Naruto emerges from the back. Robin glances backwards. The boy wonder raises an eyebrow at Naruto's choice in uniform and armor. The blonde is wearing a green flak vest over a short-sleeved skin-tight black shirt, fingerless iron-clad navy blue gloves, baggy blue shorts, and open-toe blue ninja sandals. Decided to not go with the stealth tech? Naruto takes a seat as if never hearing the comment. Dude, he doesn't speak our language, says Kid. Robin gains an annoyed look. How the heck is he supposed to lead this team when one of the members can't even communicate with the rest of the team? No worries, I can communicate with him through telepathy. I can use my telepathy to target the speech center of the brain so he understands everything I am saying, smiles Megan. Robin gives a nod. Okay, I'll leave it to you to convey to him our objective. Got it. Naruto has to admit that it feels good to be going out on a mission. He never knew how much he missed it until this moment. Of course, the missions he used to go on were solo missions that usually involved bodyguard or assassination detail. Missing ninja were cheaper to hire than ninja from hidden villages, so criminals like drug lords and syndicates hire out missing ninja. Still, it feels good to be geared up and back in action. The stealth tech gear that Batman supplied is great. The armor and clothes are top-notch, but he prefers to wear his own clothes. It feels much more comfortable. Though he wouldn't mind adding more kunai and shuriken to his weapon pouches. He is running a bit low. When he gets back to Tokyo, he will stop off at a store to buy some more. How much does the mission pay? Asks Naruto. Batman frowns. There is no payment. Naruto is not happy with that response. Heroes help others to do the right thing, not for money. But we are not helping defenseless civilians. This is a mission to infiltrate and gather information for the League. The Dark Knight can't argue with that logic. Be that as it may, there is no payment, states Batman. Naruto continues to speak. I agreed to join this team to help, but if I am spending so much time here and not getting paid for missions, then I will have to leave. The cave is stocked with food. My home is in Tokyo, not the cave. I don't need the League's charity. Pay me for my services or I will leave after this mission. Batman gains a hard look. We will talk after the mission. A ninja taking on missions for free. He might as well put a slave collar on. Ocean blue eyes drift over to Robin and Kid Flash. Those two don't know the meaning of survival of the fittest. Sure, the two have been in many life and death situations, but those were situations that the two willingly entered into. It is completely different from having to fight each day for food and water. Superboy is a ward of the Justice League, being the clone of Superman. And Miss Martian is the niece of Martian Manhunter. All of them have others to help them so that money is not an issue. Naruto, on the other hand, relies on his skills to make a living. Only one person in the world helps him, and that is Naruto. He doesn't need or want charity from the Justice League. All he wants is to receive payment for his services, that is all. He is no different from everyone else in the world that is working a job. The League has enough money to build a cave in a mountain with technology far beyond anything else on the planet. Surely paying him for a mission would not cause a dent in their checkbook. If the League won't agree to pay him, then he will leave the team. It is that simple. As much as he enjoys playing the hero, he could do that in Tokyo without the League. We are at the second drop point. She brings the ship to a complete stop over the forest. Kid Flash stands up with a cocky smirk. Time to use the new stealth gear. He presses the lightning bolt on his shirt, making his own suit turn black. Check me out, smirks Kid. Impressive, smiles Megan. Her own clothes begin to morph into a black and a navy blue cape. Naruto is impressed with that skill every time he witnesses it. I am loving this new gear. It is not too late to change. The speedster looks over at Superba. Superba folds his arms across his chest. No tights, no capes, no offense. It totally works for you. Megan sighs dreamily. Superba glances at her. Her cheeks begin to burn red as she realizes that she said that aloud. In that you can totally work in it. Blushing, she tosses up her hood and turns invisible. Grappling hooks come down from the ceiling. Robin and Kid Flash secure the lines to their waists. Holes open up on the floor beneath the team. Robin and Kid lightly land on the ground. Megan hovers down to the ground in a graceful manner. All three quickly move out the way. Superboy smashes down upon the ground. I knew I didn't need a line, smirks Superboy. And yet causing a seismic event might go against the point of being covert. Robin shakes his head at the clone. Superboy shrugs, not caring in the least. Where is the rookie? Asks Kid. Did he get lost jumping down? Robin smirks, lifting a finger to point behind Kid. Kid turns around only to jump in surprise. Naruto stands behind him, staring off into the distance. When? Splutters Kid. Be more mindful of your surroundings, laughs Robin. Let's get moving. Robin takes off without bothering to wait for the others. Naruto shrugs, following the boy wonder. The rest of the team soon starts to move. Watchtower, the doors slide open, allowing entrance to the main control room of the Watchtower. Diana enters the room. There is no surprise on her face at seeing Batman already there. It is a rare to find a time that Batman is not in the Watchtower looking up information on certain criminals. He usually does it in the Batcave where he has complete privacy, but he did call her up here. The Amazon glances at the various screens that are displaying a single video feed from different angles. Stopping behind the Batman, she watches as a child battles against a villain she never seen. This villain is able to control wind currents to form twisters much like Red Tornado. The screen switches to show the villain take out a team of young heroes before that same child bursts out of the ground and spits out a giant fireball, destroying the villain in a single shot. He inhaled a large amount of oxygen before using hand gestures to internalize the oxygen into fuel to create the fireball. I am unable to see the exact gestures of each hand, but there were 3 to 5 in total, says Batman. Wonder Woman gains a pensive expression. There are spells that require hand motions to cast, but it is usually followed by an incantation. The tape is rewound. She watches closely. I have never seen a fire spell like that. Batman narrows his eyes. Magic is an essential part of Amazon life. Wonder Woman is an expert on magic. He wanted to keep this between as few as people as possible. But if Wonder Woman doesn't recognize the magic, it looks like he will have to expand his circle. The only other member in the Justice League that might know more about magic than Diana is Zatara. Zatara uses magic more frequently than Wonder Woman, but she has over a century's worth more knowledge on it. She is an immortal Amazon that has lived for about 100 years or more. It is impressive, admits Diana. But he went straight for the killing blow. Did he know that the villain was an android? Yes, but to go to such extremes. Batman stares upon Naruto. The child is trained extensively in stealth and martial arts. He brings up various video footage of Naruto training at the cave. It is a blend of various styles. There are signs of ninjutsu, judo, jujutsu, and several others I am unable to recognize. In his battle against Mr. Twister he used shuriken and kunai. Weapons like those were used in Japan hundreds of years ago. Very few have such skill in weapons. Those that do are mercenaries and assassins. Diana gazes upon the child. He is a warrior. A small smile forms on her face. She remembers when she was that age and trained just as hard. Batman glances at the Amazon. More like a mercenary. I had a conversation with him alone after the mission briefing. The Dark Knight remembers that conversation with perfect clarity. He wanted to be paid for the mission, and he threatened to leave the team if not paid for his services. It is not an unreasonable request. Diana ignores the accusatory glare. Bruce, he is a warrior and possesses a warrior's pride. Though it may seem mercenary, it was the way he was raised. Amazons are raised in the same manner. Are soldiers and police officers not paid for their services? I first joined the Justice League to not just help mankind, but to open communications between my people and the outside world. My motives were not as noble as yours or Superman. Give the child a chance to learn the true meaning of being a hero. A contemplative look is on Batman's face. The Dark Knight has much to think about. Santa Prisca is a small tropical island with a thick forest. The dense forest doesn't have any trail through it, making it a tedious time for the team to navigate. Superba, Kid Flash, and Miss Martian are having the hardest time moving through the forest while trying to be discreet. Superba has to resist the urge to not smash every branch and fallen tree in his path. Miss Martian is not used to the environment coming from a planet that doesn't have much vegetation on it. Kid Flash is always eager to rush ahead but is forced to travel at the same speed as the rest of the group. Naruto and Robin, on the other hand, are having no trouble at all. The two are moving through the terrain with trained experience. Naruto could go even faster if he takes to the branches but doesn't want to reveal too many of his abilities. Robin lifts up his arm. We are almost at the rendezvous point. Superba picks up a crunching sound. Did you hear that? Hear what? Wait, is this a super hearing thing? Asks Kid. Kid, Superba use infrared vision to scout ahead. Kid puts on his goggles. The infrared picks up 5 heat signatures. I got 5 signatures about a quarter mile away. I see 6 others. The 2 groups are about to meet, relays Superba. Circle around them. We can't risk being seen. Naruto glances to the right, watching as Robin takes to the treetops. Boy Wonder completely abandons the team. Hey Robin, where did he go? Frowns Kid, trying to find his friend. He was here a second ago, blinks Miss Martian. Great, now we have to find him as well. Gunshots begin to fill the air. Don't need super hearing for that, says Kid. Kid, circle around. Yeah, I will, but I need to find Robin. In a burst of speed, Kid takes off, running straight towards the 2 groups. Unfortunately, the ground is mudding, making his super speed turn against him. He slips on the mud, falling forward before rolling across and straight in between the 2 groups that are shooting at each other. Kid looks up to see everyone looking at him. So much for stealth, gulps the speedster. Breakbane leads his men into a fight with those Cobra bastards. He is going to make them pay for taking over his island. Venom is his property, and no one takes what belongs to him and gets away with it. Speaking in Spanish, he orders his men to kill all the Cobra fighters. Take no prisoners! A crash from the east makes the gun fighting stop for a few seconds. All turn to see a boy come rolling into between them. The boy wears an all-black tight-fitting outfit with a symbol of a lightning bolt on the chest. Bane is reminded of Flash's protege. What would a sidekick be doing on his island? Is the Justice League here? Kill him, orders Bane. Kid moves at incredible speeds, dodging the bullets. Several birdarangs come out of the shadows, knocking weapons out of Bane's men's hands. Robin comes down from above, taking out 2 men in a single spin kick. What are you doing? Why didn't you vanish into the woods? A high-speed punch knocks out a Cobra follower. Oh, is that what you wanted us to do? We can't read your mind. Two Cobra followers are telekinetically tossed into a tree. Kid turns to look at Miss Martian. Well, at least I can't. Hey, you told me I was only allowed to read the bad guy's mind, says Miss Martian. Naruto stays in the shadows, not bothering to join in on the fighting. There is no point in it. The others are easily able to handle the men with guns. A ninja never reveals his secrets until absolutely necessary. Besides, this is supposed to be a recon mission. Kid Flash already broke cover by running ahead. Now the enemy knows that they are here. Well, the enemy knows about 5 members of the team. His own presence is hidden so the enemy doesn't know about him. Bane blocks a punch before nailing Superba in the face. You think you can take down Bane? A second punch comes at Superba, but this time the clone blocks it. Smirking, Superba delivers a full-powered uppercut that knocks Bane out cold. Bane hits the ground like a sack of potatoes. One of the Cobra followers tries to run away, but Aqualad lands in front of him. Aqualad places a hand on the Cobra follower's chest. Lightning is channeled through his arm, electrocuting the villain. A scream comes from the Cobra follower before he drops to the ground unconscious. I know these outfits, says Robin, tying up a couple of the Cobra followers. They are part of the cult of Cobra. I am sure that if Batman knew such extremists were on the island, he would have let us know, says Aqualad. Which means that Cobra are the ones that took over the island, says Robin. Great, now we can contact the League. Mission accomplished, says Kid. Robin shakes his head. No way, Cobra isn't selling venom, they are hoarding it. We aren't leaving here until I find out why. Until you find out? This team needs a leader. And you think it is you? You are a 13-year-old kid who bailed on us. So I guess you are a mature 15? Ha, you blew our cover at the first chance. Miss Martian looks at Superba. Don't you want to be leader? Superba scoffs. No thanks. How about you? I don't think I am ready to be a leader. I am new to all this hero stuff, admits Megan. Her eyes turn to find Naruto. She gasps in surprise to find him standing next to her with his usual nonchalant expression. It is a bit creepy as she didn't even notice him. Do you want me to translate? If you want, replies Naruto. Megan telepathically relays the entire conversation between Kid and Naruto. He regrets declining the offer. Arguing on a mission while in enemy territory is beyond stupid. Kurama would have his head for dealing with a bunch of amateurs. Superba's hearing picks up the talking between a couple of the men. Senor Bane, why do you not break the ropes and beat these children? Quiet, Bane smirks. I can use them to help me get my factory back. Superba gains a small smirk. He loves having super hearing and the ability to understand multiple languages. One of the few bonuses of being trained by Cadmus. Do you think you are Batman? I am the closest thing we got. Laughter erupts from Bane, drawing the attention of the team. Such clever children, but if you want to find out what is going on, I can take you inside. Bane smirks. I know a secret entrance. Aqualad looks over at Miss Martian. She walks over to Bane and concentrates. There is a secret entrance, but he is hiding something. Miss Martian struggles to keep up with all his thoughts. He is reciting football scores in Spanish. It is not my first time dealing with a telepath, smirks Bane. Why are you willing to help us? Asks Aqualad. It is not complicated. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Megan continues to translate to Naruto. Naruto gains a slight frown. He watches as the team unties Bane. An enemy is always an enemy, no such thing as an enemy being a friend. There are so many other ways to infiltrate the factory that doesn't require following a well-known criminal. No wonder their mentors never let them operate on their own. None of them would have survived in the ninja world. Robin has a pensive expression. If there really is a secret entrance, it would allow us to get into the factory undetected. If he tries anything, I'll take him down, states Superba. Aqualad glances at the team. He has to admit that trusting Bane, one of the most dangerous villains in the world, is risky. Bane is a villain that managed to beat Batman at one point in the past. Still, a secret entrance into the factory is too good an opportunity to pass up. It is the best plan at the moment. Robin slices the ropes, freeing Bane. Lead the way, orders Aqualad. This is a terrible idea. Naruto doesn't like this one bit. One thing he learned being on the run is to never trust anyone, especially not an enemy. A ninja never accepts that there is only one option to complete a task. Bane is not needed to find a way to enter into the factory. There are so many other options. Naruto, come on. Naruto frowns as he follows the team. Factory. My lord, he approaches. Bows flicker. Cobra stares out over the balcony. Put up a radio jamming net. Nothing must interfere. Break Superbo keeps his eyes trained on Bane. If the villain makes any move to betray them, he is going to take out Bane hard. Bane reaches the edge of the cliff, pointing down at the factory. The team gathers at the edge of the cliff, looking down upon the factory. Robin uses his binoculars to get a closer look. Cobra is moving the product all right. It looks like they are getting ready to move. We need to get inside to get a closer look, says Aqualad. Just what I was thinking, agrees Kid. Yeah, you are the thinker all right, laughs Robin. Kid glares at Robin. Sarcasm, really? A real leader would focus on getting us down there. Naruto ignores them all, keeping his eyes on Bane, who walked away towards a large boulder. Bane moves the boulder with little effort, revealing a hidden entrance to a cave. Your answers are this way, says Bane. The villain enters the cave. Great, now El Luchador is our leader, scowls Kid. Robin elbows Kid in the ribs. The team follows Bane. Bane leads them through the cave to where a secret door is at. Putting his hand on a fingerprint reader, it beeps before the doors slide open. All of them enter into the factory. Robin! Aqualad turns to find the boy wonder is gone once again. Don't tell me he was captured already, frowns Bane. No, he just does that, sighs Aqualad. Kid smirks, putting on his goggles. I'll go get the information we need before Boy Wonder returns. Aqualad never gets a chance to stop Kid as the speedster takes off at high speeds. Great chain of command, glares Bane. Naruto doesn't know it, but he thought the same thing in his mind. Batman should have assigned a leader to them team to keep certain idiots in line. Using the term idiot is being nice. Kurama was the one with a more colorful personality, and no doubt would have come up with a much better term to define Robin and Kid Flash's actions. Aqualad, Miss Martian, and Superboy all shared the same expression. The remaining members of the team and Bane sneak through the factory. Ducking behind a pile of crater, they oversee Cobra moving shipment. It looks like they are moving all the new shipment. None of the old shipment, says Superboy. Maybe freshness counts? Suggests Miss Martian. Freshness? Repeats Naruto with a raised eyebrow. Miss Martian gains a light blush, realizing how silly that sounded. Helicopter, says Superboy. Factory A Cobra follower is sitting at the computer console, making sure that there are no security breaches. A batarang pierces the console. The Cobra follower has no time to react when gas sprays out. The knockout gas makes the Cobra follower passes out. Robin pushes the knocked out Cobra follower to the floor. Taking a seat, he begins to type rapidly. Find anything? Kid appears behind Robin. I am decoding the system now. Robin continues to type. Kid leans forward, pointing his chocolate bar at the screen. That is the original Venom formula. A new blue strand appears next to the purple Venom. And that is the Blockbuster formula. Cobra found a way to combine Venom and Blockbuster together. Together, the new drug is 3 times more potent and permanent. Kid stares at the screen with wide eyes. How did Cobra get its hands on Blockbuster? Robin's eyes narrow. The buyer must also be the supplier. He reaches up to his ear to activate the communication link. Robin to Red Tornado. We have static. Kid frowns, knowing that the situation took a turn for the worse. Santa Prisca, a military-grade helicopter, lands on the ground. Cobra stands patiently with his men surrounding the perimeter. Out of the helicopter emerges one of best assassins in the world. Lord Cobra, greets the assassin. His hockey mask hides his facial features. Sportsmaster, greets Cobra. A simple gesture has a lackey run up towards the two. The lackey brings out a suitcase, opening it. Inside the suitcase is a single vial. The new formula is ready. Sportsmaster glances behind Cobra to see the large hulking beast, Mammoth. Mammoth is the first test product of the new formula. A literal mountain of muscle. Sportsmaster smirks. Finally, with this on our side, we can go man-to-man with the League. In the air watching the exchange is Miss Martian. Aqualad, I am sending a mental image of the buyer to you now. Aqualad, Superba, Naruto, and Bane are standing on a balcony inside the factory. Miss Martian sends Aqualad the mental image of Sportsmaster and Cobra. It is Sportsmaster, he is the buyer, says Aqualad in surprise. Naruto is the only one among the four that has no idea who this Sportsmaster is. What is the plan? Asks Superba. We need to stop Sportsmaster from obtaining that new formula. How do we do that? Bane smirks. Like this. The villain leaps over the railing. Bane slams down on the ground between two Cobra followers. Screaming, the villain takes out the followers quick and in the process blows the cover of the entire team. The window behind the team bursts as Mammoth attacks the team. Aqualad lands on the ground. He grabs his water bearers, using one to create a small water shield to protect from incoming bullets. Mammoth roars before charging at Superba. Superba charges forward and the two lock arms. The two are evenly matched in strength. Mammoth picks Superba up and slams him back first into the ground, creating a small crater. With a yell, Superba rolls backwards onto his feet and leaps at Mammoth, delivering a right hook. I'll take those. Kid moves at high speed, stealing the guns from the Cobra followers. Aqualad takes advantage by shooting small water balls at high speeds at the disarmed Cobra followers. Sportsmaster watches the fight. His eyes narrowed as he sees several Cobra followers being knocked aside by an invisible force. The air above the battle shimmers. Taking a closer look, he spots a distortion in the air. He draws a metal rod that opens up into a javelin. Sportsmaster tosses it with deadly accuracy at the distortion. Miss Martian goes to move out of the way, but as it passes by her it explodes, blasting her into several crates. Cobra turns his head to see a familiar sidekick. Batman must be getting desperate to send his whelp. What is the matter, Cobra? You seem disconcerted, smirks Robin. I am plagued by mosquitoes, frowns Cobra. Aqualad yells over at Miss Martian. Link us up! Everyone online? Yeah, grunts Superbo, blocking a punch. I'm here, beautiful. Robin? I am busy. Miss Martian tries to find Naruto. Where is Naruto? Everyone, we need to retreat. Fall back to the cave, orders Aqualad. Robin dodges a kick from Shimmer. I got this, Robin, now. Frowning, Robin tosses a pellet onto the ground. Shimmer coughs as smoke blinds her. Once the smoke is gone, Robin is nowhere in sight. Cobra stares off into the distance. Superba tosses Mammoth before running into the cave. Aqualad, Miss Martian, and Kid Flash are right behind Superba. Robin enters the cave last. The five start to run down the tunnel, avoiding fire from Cobra followers. Superboy, take out the pillars! Superboy begins to punch out the pillars. The cave begins to collapse, preventing the team from being followed. Miss Martian looks around frantically. Naruto is not here! I can't sense his mind at all. Robin punches the wall in anger. How could my first mission as leader go wrong? It is true that you have the most experience, but that can also be a weakness. Aqualad walks towards his friend. With Batman, your roles are defined and don't need to speak. This team is new, inexperienced. The leader needs to be vocal and clearly give orders. So what, I have to play babysitter? Robin soon loses his anger. Who, I am kidding? Calder, you should be leader. You're the only one that can. Please, I can run circles. Wally, come on. You know it is true. Superba nods. I could have told you that. Hello, Megan. It is so obvious. All turn to look at Kid. Fine, smirks Kid. Aqualad places a hand on Robin's shoulder. Then I will bear the burden for now. Until you are ready. You are destined to lead this team, maybe not now but soon. Robin smirks. The first order of business is to get back into that factory and find Naruto. If he was captured, we need to free him. Kid scowls. The rookie probably tried to run off on his own. After we find Naruto, we need to stop Sportsmaster from leaving the island with the shipment. Finishes Aqualad. I was thinking the same thing. Chuckles Robin. The team begins to head out of the cave. Moonlight shines up ahead, signaling the exit. As the team rushes ahead, a familiar voice stops them. Outside the cave waits the person that was supposed to be on their side. Stop right there, laughs Bane. Or I will blow up the cave and bury you alive. You! Aqualad's eyes widen in surprise. Why? Mentally, Aqualad orders Kid to take a few steps back to get a running start. Kid discreetly starts to step backwards. Bane smirks, holding the detonator in his right hand. The team notices explosive all over the exit. One false step and Bane will ignite the explosives, burying them alive. It is simple. The reason I helped you was to get Santa Prisca back. I hoped that my two enemies would take each other out, and when the smoke cleared, Santa Prisca would be mine again. However, killing you sidekicks will make the Justice League take action. Either way, I get back my island. Smirking, Bane is about to press the button. Goodbye, children. In a blur, the detonator is snatched out of Bane's hand. Huh! Bane looks down at his hand. Looking for this? Smirks Kid. I'll kill you! Bane charges at Kid only to be lifted into the air. The villain's eyes widen. Superboy steps forward, crouching down. Drop him! Bane falls down straight into Superboy's punch. Now I have a plan, says Aqualad. The team gathers together. Break Miss Martian flies above the factory in camouflage mode. Aqualad, I am not seeing any activity at all. It is so quiet. Get a closer look. We are almost there, orders Aqualad. Diving down, she goes around the back. Miss Martian's eyes widen. The sight that greets her is one that she never expected. Cobra followers are lying all over the ground unconscious. She flies into the factory to find the rest of the Cobra followers in the same condition. Heading back out, she flies over to the helicopter. Unconscious with multiple bruises are Cobra and Sportsmaster. Both villains are tied up tightly in ninja wire. What the heck happened here? Kid speeds into the area with a stunned expression. He looks at Miss Martian with new respect. It wasn't me, says Miss Martian. Robin swings down from the roof. He lands lightly on his feet. Boy Wonder looks around with the same look of disbelief. Who did this? Superboy uses his X-ray vision. Over there. His eyes lock onto the one responsible. The team watches as someone walks out of the woods towards them. Naruto! Gasps Miss Martian. Naruto walks towards the team, dragging an unconscious mammoth behind him. Robin and Kid Flash can't believe it. Superboy hides his surprise well. Aqualad is in the same state of disbelief. Unceremoniously, Naruto comes to a stop in front of them. Team. Mission accomplished, states Naruto to Miss Martian. How? No way the rookie did all this! Exclaims Kid. It isn't possible, I mean. Robin tries hard to hide his emotions, but finds it extremely hard. He is the protege of Batman, one of the greatest heroes in the world and leader of the Justice League. It may seem arrogant, but he knows that out of all the sidekicks in the world that he is in the top 3. Other sidekicks may have special powers, but he has been trained to take down superpower individuals using his brains. Never has he felt inferior to another protege until this moment. Naruto accomplished the mission on his own without any help from the others. Cobra, Sportsmaster, and a genetically enhanced monster were all defeated by a kid a year older than him. And Naruto doesn't have a single scratch. Robin knows with all his skill this is a task that even he couldn't accomplish alone. So how did Naruto do it? Who is Naruto Uzumaki? Red Tornado to team. I am on my way to the rendezvous point. You called the League? Dude! Aqualad places a hand on Kid Flash's shoulder. The mission is over. Calling the League was the logical decision. Mount Justice. You are all dismissed. Robin, Aqualad, and Kid Flash head towards the Zeta tubes. Megan and Superboy head in the opposite direction to their rooms. Naruto, on the other hand, stands in front of Batman, not moving from his spot. Robin glances backwards at the tube before disappearing through the Zeta tube. Batman stares at Naruto. The League has agreed to grant your request. You will be given a monthly stipend as long as you are on the team. Naruto knows that there is more to the agreement, so remains silent. Your powers. I am a former ninja, that is all I will reveal for the moment, interrupts Naruto. That bit of information is all Batman needs to confirm his suspicions. I will have Canary take you to the bank to set up an account. Your money will be transferred to the account, says Batman. The Dark Knight takes his leave. Naruto heads to the Zeta tubes. Chapter 4: Taking Out the Garbage. Canary is in civilian clothes. Naruto is walking next to her in civilian clothes as well. The two stop outside a bank. Opening the doors, she gestures for him to enter. He enters into the bank. Ocean blue eyes immediately scan the entire area, locating the exits, number of guards, and the fastest route to escaping should a fight break out. There is no need to be so tense. This is a simple formality, smiles Canary. Tense? Naruto glances at the woman. Amusement appears in his eyes. He gestures for Canary to lead the way, not saying anything more. Canary realizes how silly she must have sounded. That is like telling Superman to be careful around a gun. As crazy as it may seem, the most dangerous person in the bank at the moment is the child. She heard about the mission to Santa Prisca. Naruto single-handedly took down 30 Cobra fanatic followers, Cobra, Sportsmaster, and a genetically enhanced human with incredible super strength and speed. He did this all without taking a single injury. It was a scary thought to think that a child managed to accomplish such a feat on his own. Naruto's abilities have drawn the attention of the entire League. It is not just the League, thinks Canary. She walks up to the bank teller. I am here to help my nephew open an account. His name is Uzumaki Naruto. The bank teller smiles. I shall get the paperwork ready. Naruto barely pays attention, choosing to go over various mental simulations in his head. There are a couple new jutsu that he has been wanting to work on. While waiting for the paperwork, Canary returns to her original thoughts. Cobra may be a fanatical that believes himself to be a god, but the man is extremely dangerous. A day after being captured and placed in Arkham Asylum, there was a huge bounty placed on the person responsible for the capture of Cobra. Naruto's identity is unknown to Cobra, but the bounty on his head is for $5 million. Batman is working overtime to make sure that Naruto's identity remains a secret. However, Canary knows that Naruto's identity will come out eventually. He has no codename and doesn't wear a mask. Worse yet, Naruto carries no fear at all about his identity being revealed. She already knows that he is the type of person that will walk around in broad daylight even with a bounty on his head. Is there something you wish to tell me? No, I have a lot on my mind is all. Naruto speaks in a calm manner. Batman told you already about my profession. Canary nods. Then you should know that lying to me is pointless. Even half-truths will not work. Ocean blue eyes stare deep into her own light blue. I grew up in a world filled with deception. If you want to lie, that is fine, but do a better job at it. A small smile forms on her face. I'll work on it, smirks Canary. Perhaps there is hope for him after all. Mount Justice. Recognize B06, Uzumaki Naruto. In a flash of light, Naruto appears in the cave. That was faster than he thought. Canary had helped him set up a bank account, and the League transferred $700 into the account. Well, 83,320. 53 yen, which equates to $700 US. 83,320. 53 yen will be transferred to his bank account each month with 59,000 yen extra for every mission he completes. A bit on small side compared to the money he used to make as a missing ninja, but it is a start. He used half the money to purchase a new set of kunai and shuriken before returning to base. There is this great blacksmith store that he found a month ago. It makes top-quality weapons. Real weapons, not ones for show. When he had enough money, he planned to buy a sword. He almost feels naked without a sword. A sword is a very useful weapon that he learned to use on his own. Gives him extra reach and provides him with a quick way to deal fatal blows to his enemies. Aqualad and Robin use weapons, so him using a sword shouldn't be a problem. Naruto. Megan flies towards him with a smile. How are you? I am well, greets Naruto. How are you? She lands on the ground. A bit boring. Superbo went out to help with an accident on the Metropolis Bridge. So I have been pretty much alone. Megan shifts nervously. Do you want to do something? Naruto tilts his head. Sure, what did you have in mind? Megan smiles brightly. Just as she is about to voice her idea, the Zeta tube flares to life. Recognize B02 Aqualad. In a flash of light, Calder enters the cavern. Calder! Beams Megan. What are you doing here? Calder smiles at Megan. I was hoping to hang out with my friends. He walks over to Naruto, offering his hand. It is good to see you. Naruto stares at the offered hand before extending his own. Recognize B03, Kid Flash. Hey Megalicious, did you miss me? Kid enters the room dressed in his usual hero gear. In a burst of speed, he speeds over to Megan, placing an elbow on her shoulder. Want to spend some alone time together? Megan gives a friendly smile. It is nice to see you too. Naruto admires the girl for enduring Wally's lame attempts at flirting. She is even nicer than he thought. Recognize B01, Robin. Yo, waves Robin. I am ready for a mission. Tell me about it. Kid starts to munch on a chocolate bar. I am getting bored with all this nothing. I am sure we will get a mission soon, reassures Megan. Recognize B04, Superba. Superba enters into the room. How did everything go? Megan's question is never answered. The clone brushes past the entire team. A new voice speaks out, stopping Superboy from leaving the room. Time for training. The entire team turns around to see two adults walking towards them. Martian Manhunter and Black Canary walk towards the team. Naruto's eyes lock onto Canary's right shoulder. It is bandaged up. That was not there 2 hours ago when he last saw her. Uncle John! Megan runs over to her uncle, giving him a hug. What are you doing here? A large smile is on her face. I was in the neighborhood and decided to drop by to see how you were doing. Smiles the Martian Manhunter. Megan smiles. I hit a few bumps, but I am learning. That is all I can ask. Superbuzz sends a jealous glance at Megan and Martian Manhunter. Scowling, he turns to leave. Stick around, says Canary. Training is in session. Canary walks to the middle of the room, activating the simulation. I want you to know that I consider it an honor to teach you. She goes to remove her jacket. I will throw everything at you. Everything that I learned from my own mentors and as well. She winces in pain. And my own bruises. What happened? Asks Megan, concerned. The job, smirks Canary. Combat is all about putting the battle on your terms. You should always be acting and not reacting. I need a sparring partner. Oh me! Kid walks forward with a cocky smirk. Taking one last bite from his banana, he tosses it into the nearby garbage bin. Once this is over, I'll show you my moves. Canary clears her throat, drawing Kid's attention. Are you ready? Kid turns back around, gaining that flirtatious smile. She crouches into a fighting stance. Moving quickly, she throws a straight right punch. Kid easily blocks the punch, but she already predicted that he would and ducked down into a leg sweep that swept Kid's legs out from under him. The speedster hit the ground back first. The words fail appears next to him. Hurts so good, groans Kid. Robin burst out laughing. Canary helps Kid up. Good block, but did you know what you did wrong? Robin raises his hand. He hit on teacher and got served. Dude! He allowed me to dictate the terms of battle, starts Canary. Please! She turns around to face Superba. With my powers, the battle is always on my terms. I am a living weapon and this is a waste of my time, scowls Superba. Canary smirks. Prove it. Superba's eyes narrow. He steps forward, crouching into a fighting stance. Canary gets into her own stance. A silent signal goes off. Superba throws a punch only to find Canary grab his arm and toss him over her shoulders. Bad move, thinks Naruto. Superba is a powerhouse with incredible strength. Instead of throwing punches, he should be looking to turn this into a grappling match. Laughter comes from Robin. Calder nudges his friend. Robin throws up his hands over his mouth to muffle his laughter. Superba charges angrily at Canary, but is once again knocked to the ground. Good, you are angry. Channel that anger, says Canary. Growling, Superba leaps at Canary only to have his legs swept out from under him. For the third time he is on his back with the words fail next to his body. Enough! Superba stands up. I am done. Training is mandatory, states Canary. A screen pops open. Batman to the cave! The team gathers around to listen. 5 hours ago, Green Arrow called in the League to help deal with an android threat. It turned out to be disastrous. Another screen pops open to show an alien-looking android fighting various members of the Justice League and winning. The android possessed the ability to copy the powers of anyone it came in contact with. In the end, it took 8 League members 4 hours to defeat the android. Robin's eyes widen. A machine with the powers of the entire Justice League. Who made it? T.O. Moro? Good guess, but Red Tornado doesn't think so. Martian Manhunter addresses the team. It bears the signature of Professor Evo. Evo? But he is dead, says Aqualad. So we thought and hoped, replies Canary. Naruto's eyes narrow upon the android. A machine that possessed the powers of the Sharingan. That is a scary thought. He had no idea that technology could do that. The technology of this world is far more dangerous than he thought. Looks like he will need to be a bit more careful with his techniques. Until this threat is permanently neutralized, we are sending 2 trucks carrying the parts to 2 separate Star Labs in Boston and New York. You all will split up into 2 separate teams to safeguard the 2 real trucks, continues Batman. So now we take out your garbage? Batman stares at Superboy, not liking the attitude. You had something better to do? The image disappears. Aqualad double-checks the coordinates. Coordinates received, time to move out. The team begins to head out. A hand reaches out, grabbing Superbo's arm. Superbo turns to look at Canary. When you are ready, I will be here, says Canary. Highway Batman and several other League members are overseeing the loading of the android. Among them is Captain Atom, Superman, Hawkman, and Green Lantern. Naruto stares curiously at the members of the Justice League. He must admit that these League members sure do look strong. Honestly, he is curious to how he measures up to them. Not to sound arrogant, but he knows that he can take Black Canary. If her only power is being an expert in martial arts, then she won't prove much of a match for him. It makes him wonder the abilities of the rest of the League members. Aqualad glances at Naruto and Superboy. Superboy is staring straight in the direction of Superman while Naruto is observing all the members of the Justice League. This is the second mission that the team was given. Teamwork is the key to success. Naruto proved on the first mission that he is able to handle his own even when the numbers are stacked against him. While the rest of the team argued and fought, Naruto single-handedly brought down Cobra and Sports Master. 2 of the most dangerous criminals in the world were taken out by a single person. Aqualad knows that the most qualified person to lead this team is not him nor Robin, it is Naruto. According to Robin, Batman learned that Naruto is formerly a ninja. Ninjas are experts in stealth and espionage. Robin may have been trained by Batman, but Naruto was raised in the world of shadows, making him the ideal candidate to lead a covert team. The problem is that Naruto lacks the communication skills to give out commands to the team. Megan is constantly relaying conversations to Naruto via telepathy. The second problem is that no one except Megan knows Naruto's personality since she is the only one that he talks to. Until the team learns a bit more about his personality, no one can really trust him. Using this knowledge, Aqualad has placed Naruto on his team along with Miss Martian. Robin, Kid Flash, and Superboy make up the second team. Batman gives the signal. The team splits into two groups following the trucks. One by one the members of the Justice League leave the scene. Superman is about to take off, but is stopped by Batman. "I told you that we needed to talk." On the road, Team A is following the truck to Boston. Team A consists of Aqualad, Miss Martian, and Naruto. Each member of the team is riding on a brand new motorcycle. Naruto revs the engines, shooting ahead of the others. This is the type of technology that he enjoys. "Do we get to keep these?" asks Naruto. Aqualad's eyes widen. "I can understand you? I am using my telepathy to tap into the speech pattern of Naruto's brain. This is how I am able to communicate with him," explains Miss Martian. "I see." Aqualad rides next to Naruto. "These are for mission purposes, so they will be available to us during missions. I doubt Batman will let us use them for other purposes. I will have to look into buying one." A smirk appears on Aqualad's face. Perhaps his worries were unjustified. A strange sound hits Naruto's ears. He turns his head, making Miss Martian and Aqualad do the same. All three stare at green and silver monkeys that are flying through the air right towards them. Flying monkeys, that is new. Aqualad opens up communication with Team B. "Robin, come in. We are under attack." "Kinda figured, it is the same over here." Naruto hits several buttons. The seat shifts up and the back part of the bike comes apart. He starts to ride on the front wheel. Miss Martian abandoned her bike, choosing to fly. She uses her telekinetic powers to smash the monkeys into each other. The two monkeys explode in a shower of debris. Aqualad keeps one hand on the handles while using the other to swing a whip of water that cuts through several of the robotic monkeys. In a single leap, Naruto lands on the roof of the truck. He channels chakra to his fist to add extra strength to his punches. Each punch destroys the monkey. The monkey's eyes begin to glow green. Green laser beams are fired at the young heroes. Naruto reaches back, tossing a half-dozen shuriken that take out several of the monkeys. Miss Martian slams a monkey into the street with her telekinetic powers. Turning, her eyes widen in surprise. Naruto is standing on the side of the truck as if upright. He is fighting them as if standing on solid ground. How is he doing that? Several monkeys land on the back of the truck. Using the laser, they cut through the armored truck, opening up a large hole. "There are too many," yells Aqualad. "Get in front of the truck," orders Naruto. Miss Martian and Aqualad look at him curiously. Naruto's hands come together, and he begins to flash through hand seals. Miss Martian move. Aqualad speeds in front of the truck. Miss Martian flies ahead. Naruto finishes the hand seals and claps his hands together. Wind style, great wind breakthrough. Gale force winds erupt outward from Naruto's body. Miss Martian is almost caught up in the fierce winds. Aqualad watches in awe as Naruto created a wind strong enough to rival Red Tornado and Mr. Twister. 24 of the monkeys hit the street, causing multiple explosions. The winds keep up until all the robotic monkeys are destroyed. How did he do that? Wonders Miss Martian. It is similar to the way the magic is used, except he is using hand seals instead of incantations, answers Aqualad. I have never seen anything like it. Naruto falls to a knee, breathing heavily. That jutsu is a C-rank jutsu, but with the amount of chakra he poured into it made it into an A-rank jutsu. Usually that wouldn't take a hit to his chakra reserves, or at least it didn't when he had a demon inside of him. The demon replenished his reserves at a high rate, making him able to use multiple high-rank jutsu at a time without tiring. Since losing the demon, his chakra reserves were cut in half. He no longer has the stamina to pour so much chakra into a jutsu. This is Robin to Aqualad. We lost our cargo and a teammate. Superba is pretty much gone. Yeah, the guy went ballistic. Aqualad radios Superba. Superba, give us your position so we can back you up. I don't need help. Don't want it. Superba. Superba. I think he ditched his transmitter. Great, now how do we get back the parts? Well, there's one way to track the parts. How is that? Asks Aqualad. The ninja points in the distance. There are a dozen more monkeys flying towards them. If we let them take the parts and follow them, suggests Naruto. Miss Martian relays the plan to Robin over the radio. That actually isn't a bad plan, says Robin. We could capture whoever is after the parts, and that could lead us to who built the robot. The League would be impressed if we can capture Professor Evo. Aqualad gains a pensive expression. Not much time to decide, says Miss Martian. Let them have the parts, says Aqualad. Naruto leaps from the truck, landing on the back of Aqualad's bike. Aqualad is shocked to see Naruto stand there without any trouble at all. The three watch as the robotic monkey steal the Amazo parts. Break Superboy slams down upon the train car. He spent the last 5 hours chasing those monkeys. There were several points that he almost lost them, but he managed to use his enhanced vision to find them again. It led him to this train car. He punching a hole in the roof, he jumps down into the car. Laughter fills the air. Robotic monkeys are sitting on the crates. Well, what do we have here? A small man that barely comes up to 5 feet tall steps out of the darkness. He wears a sweater vest over a long-sleeve white shirt and black dress pants. You are Professor Evo? Superboy looks down upon the man. Consider me turbed. I didn't know that the Big Blue had a brat. He doesn't. Professor Evo looks at the clone before waving dismissively. If you say so. The professor smiles as his monkeys start to hover behind him. How did you like my mobile optimal neuroquotient infiltrators? Laughter comes from the robotic monkeys before attacking Superboo. A couple punches destroy the first 2 monkeys before he grabs the third and fourth. He smashes the 2 monkeys together. If Evo's magnificent monkeys don't float you, maybe my amazing Amazo will better suit you. Superboo has no time to react when a punch slams into his face, sending him flying into the crates behind him. Or better slay you. Superboo looks up to see a 6.5-foot tall android. It is the same android that was in the footage of fighting against the Justice League. Accessing Superman, says Amazo. Narrowing his eyes, Superboo lunges at Amazo. Amazo catches the punch and slams a knee into Superboo's gut. An uppercut launches Superboy through the roof and high into the air. The clone is sent flying over half a mile before crashing through the roof of a school building. He crashes straight through several floors, landing in a large basketball gym. Superboo goes to stand, but a force from above smashes him back into the floor, creating a small crater. The clone is lifted up before a punch sends him flying. Blood sprays from Superboo's mouth. A whip of water heads at Amazo's back. Accessing Martian Manhunter. Amazo becomes into intangible. The whip of water passes through Amazo harmlessly. Amazo turns around to face its new opponents. Accessing Captain Atom. Aqualad dives out of the way to avoid nuclear energy. Superboo goes to attack Amazo, but the android turns around, firing a second blast of energy that strikes the clone in the chest. Pain fills the clone. The android never gets a chance to finish Superboo. Amazo is picked up into the air by an invisible hand and tossed into the bleachers. Now that was interesting. Professor Evo is carried into the gym by his robotic monkeys. He takes a seat on the bleachers. His eyes land upon the green-skinned girl hovering the air. I didn't know there was another Martian. Guess the Big Blue wasn't the only one hiding a kid. Smirks Evo. Analyzing, information downloaded. Amazo stands up. A wave of the hand sends Miss Martian flying into the wall. Accessing Miss Martian. A chuckle comes from the professor. It looks like you are not as weak as the others. Smirks Evo. Aqualad forms a pair of whips with his water bearers. We need to disassemble the android before it absorbs more powers. Good luck with that. Evo leans back on the bleachers. Amazo, kill them, Priority Alpha. Accessing Flash. In a burst of speed too fast to follow, Amazo dodges the water whips and appears in front of Aqualad. 15 punches strike Aqualad all over his body. A right hook sends Aqualad flying into the far wall. Accessing Martian Manhunter. Amazo becomes intangible, letting a kick pass through him harmlessly. Naruto lands on the ground, spinning around to face his opponent. Accessing Superman. Amazo's eyes begin to glow red. The ninja takes off, running with a pair of heat beams on his trail. Amazo pauses to analyze Naruto. Analyzing, unable to upload. Evo's eyes widen. What? Impossible. The professor's eyes narrow upon Naruto. Why can't my amazing Amazo analyze your powers? Naruto doesn't respond as his attention is fully on the android. Amazo appears behind Naruto. Naruto ducks under a high-speed punch before sliding backwards to avoid a follow-up punch. Accessing Miss Martian. A telekinetic blast sends Naruto flying. Miss Martian uses her powers to catch Naruto. Are you? No time to focus on me. Miss Martian has no time to react when Amazo is flying in the air next to her. Accessing Superman. Amazo slams a fist into Miss Martian's gut. Her eyes roll up into her head. She falls towards the ground face first. Miss Martian! Yells Superba. His eyes fill with rage. Superba leaps into the air. Amazo spins around, catching the fist, and twirls Superba around before tossing him straight down into the floor. Accessing Captain Atom. A stream of nuclear energy plows into Superba. Superba screams in pain. His shirt is burned away and the skin on his chest begins to melt. Leave him alone! Amazo becomes intangible to avoid a mace made of water. Accessing Martian Manhunter. Amazo turns to face Aqualad. Accessing Superman. Flying straight at Aqualad, Amazo pounds Aqualad into the ground. An explosion fills the gym. Evo clicks his tongue. Oh well, looks like the show is over. The dust clears to reveal Amazo standing in a crater with Aqualad knocked out cold. Amazo turns his head to look up in the bleachers across from Professor Evo. Naruto is standing on the bleachers with a hard expression. Oh right, the one that managed to avoid my amazing Amazo's analysis. Amazo, capture him Priority Alpha. I want to dissect him to find out why you were unable to copy his abilities. Smirks Evo. Accessing Flash. In a burst of speed, Amazo appears behind Naruto. Amazo wraps his arms around Naruto. Accessing Superman. Naruto grits his teeth as Amazo begins to squeeze him. The bones in his body start to crack under the intense pressure. Professor Evo smirks in glee. A grin starts to form on Naruto's face. Bunshin Daibikuha. Professor Evo's eyes widen as Naruto suddenly explodes. The bleachers crumble under the explosion. Out of the smoke emerges Amazo with severe damage to its chest. Sparks begin to fly from the android, making it move a bit sluggish. Amazo uses its X-ray vision to locate Naruto hiding in the shadows. Naruto leaves the shadows, barely able to avoid a high-speed punch. Shit, creating that shadow clone severely damaged my reserves. I only have enough chakra for 2 more jutsu, thinks Naruto. Amazo moves at speeds that rival Superman. Naruto dodges the first punch, but a second and third collide, sending him flying. Never in his life was he hit so hard. It takes all his willpower to stay conscious. It is only the fact that the android was ordered to capture him that the punches didn't kill him. Twisting around in midair, he begins to flash through hand seals. Accessing Flash. Doton Doryu Taiga. Naruto slams a hand upon the ground. The gym floor under Amazo turns into a river of mud. Accessing Martian Manhunter. Naruto grins, having got the one that he wanted. Amazo becomes intangible, floating out of the river of mud. Accessing Captain Atom. Channeling chakra to his legs, Naruto increases his speed 3-fold, running at Jounin level speeds, and leaps into the air to deliver a kick. Amazo hardens with Naruto's foot in its chest. An explosion fills the air. Flipping out of the smoke, Naruto lands on the ground and falls to a knee. Burns and blood covers his right leg. Amazo falls to the ground in multiple pieces. Shit, I am out of chakra. Naruto falls forward as the world of darkness consumes him. Mount Justice Ocean blue eyes snap awake. Naruto stares at an unfamiliar ceiling. Sitting up, he winces in pain. He looks down to see his chest heavily bandaged. Memories of the battle with the android come back to him. That android almost killed them all. It had the amazing ability to copy the powers of any metahuman that it laid eyes upon. Fortunately, Amazo was unable to analyze his powers or copy them. That is because his powers come from the ability to manipulate and control chakra. Chakra is the mixture of physical and spiritual energy that only a living organism possesses. An android is a machine, and a machine can never have access to chakra. Though given the advanced technology that this world possesses, it wouldn't surprise him if a machine could replicate his chakra abilities. Naruto wouldn't have had such a hard time fighting the android if he could have used his Sharingan. The problem is that the Sharingan wouldn't have worked against Amazo. Like Amazo couldn't copy his abilities, the Sharingan can't read the attacks of a machine. Sharingan pierces the inner eye of an opponent to read emotions. The problem is that Amazo is not a living being, therefore the Sharingan would pierce the inner eye and find nothing. There is no brain activity to read. In the end, it didn't matter, as he found a way to defeat Amazo before succumbing to chakra exhaustion. He really needs to focus on building his chakra reserves back up. Losing Kurama hit him worse than he thought. On the plus side, his chakra control is much better, so he is able to use high-level jutsu back-to-back in almost the same manner. The doors to the rooms slide open. He turns his head to see Canary enter into the room. A smile is on the woman's face. Good to see you awake. Canary takes a seat next to him. You have been out for the past 2 days. We are not sure what happened. Chakra exhaustion. Canary remains silent. Naruto knows that she is waiting for a more in-depth explanation. Chakra is the mixture of spiritual and physical energy. It is how I am able to use my jutsu. When I use too much chakra, it puts my body in a state of shock, and in extreme cases I could die. Canary gains a hard look. She has heard about chakra in her martial arts studies. Chi and chakra energy sources that were believed to have empowered warriors in ancient Asia. A few of her masters talked about using chi to strengthen one's body, but it is something she never had an aptitude at. You fought like a true hero, ready to sacrifice your life to take down an enemy. I am proud of you, praises Canary. Naruto raises an eyebrow. Give my life? I have no intention of dying. My mission was to collect the android parts, and I accomplished that. Nothing more. You almost died. No, I passed out for a couple days. I was fine. The woman rolls her eyes. And he is supposed to be cold and detached. Canary stands up with a smirk. She reaches over and ruffles his hair. Naruto gives her an irritated look. Laughing, she leaves the room, knowing that Naruto is finally acting his age. There is still hope for him. Chapter 5: Making Friends and Enemies. Robin is sitting at the supercomputer in Mount Justice, accessing information from the Justice League database to study a certain individual. Like his mentor, he is obsessed with gaining as much information as possible on individuals of interest. It just so happens that the individual he is interested in is the same one that his mentor is investigating. He is so engrossed with going over the mission details that he never hears a person coming up behind him. Is there a reason you are looking up information on Naruto? Robin hides his surprise well. He turns his head to see Calder come up beside him. Calder keeps his emotions schooled. I want to learn more about him. How is it that someone so strong was able to stay hidden? A video is pulled up of Naruto fighting Amazo. Justice League hacked the cameras at Gotham University to steal the video footage. I mean, he was able to take down an opponent that had the powers of multiple League members. An opponent that nearly killed you, Miss Martian and Superba. Aren't you the least bit curious about him? Calder places a hand on Robin's shoulder. I would be lying if I said I wasn't curious, but Naruto is a friend and teammate. When he is ready, he will let us in. Come on, Calder, I know he saved your life, all of our lives, corrects Calder. Multiple times. Robin frowns. Sometimes you need to ignore all that paranoia and have faith. Robin stares at the screen. August 5th, 12:05 p.m. Superboy is slammed down upon the ground. Groaning, he stares up at a ceiling that is rapidly becoming a close friend to him. You are getting better, smiles Canary. She extends her hand, which he takes. He is helped to his feet. Don't throw all your weight into your punches because it leaves you wide open to a counter. Right. Superboy dusts off his pants. I am ready to go again. Naruto enters into the room. A thud makes him look up. He notices Superboy getting beat up by Canary. When it comes to fighting, Superboy is pretty useless. Mr. Twister, Mammoth, and Amazo all beat the crap out of the clone. What type of weapon constantly gets beat up? Cadmus didn't do a very good job at creating a weapon. If Superboy wasn't invulnerable to most things, the clone would have been killed a long time ago. Do you want to join us? Superboy understood every word of that. It looks like Cadmus made it so that he could understand Japanese. I have my own style, replies Naruto. Canary sends a challenging smirk. Do you think your style is better than anything I have to offer? No, but I like my style and have no desire to learn a new style. How about a spar? A shrug comes from the ninja. Canary spreads her legs, getting into her stance. Naruto stands calmly, not getting into a stance. Superboy takes a step back. The clone is looking forward to this. A fist sails towards Naruto's face. He leans back to avoid it. She twists around, going for a leg sweep that he leaps over. Smirking, she goes to strike him in the air, knowing that he can't avoid. Or so she believed. Naruto twists around so that he is upside down and plants his hand on her extended arm. A kick comes down from above, striking Canary between the shoulder and neck. Pain fills the woman, dropping her to her knees. He flips backwards, landing on his feet. He was able to put that much power into a kick even from that position, winces Canary. So he can beat Canary as well, thinks Superba. It isn't that surprising. Naruto is the one that defeated Amazo, an android that took on several members of the Justice League along with copying their powers. As much as Superboy hates to admit it, even silently, Naruto is the strongest member on the team. Apparently even strong enough to take on a member from the Justice League. You are fast, but lack any true technique. Against an opponent of equal speed you will not have such an advantage, states Canary. I can teach you a few moves. Naruto shrugs. Alright. There is no harm in learning a few moves. Break. Take a short break, the others will be arriving soon for team training. Naruto and Superboy stand down. Canary tosses each of them a water bottle. She knows that the two boys are far from tired. Superboy is a carbon copy of Superman, except without all the powers of the Man of Steel. One of the many things that he did inherit from the cloning process is Superman's incredible stamina and endurance. Even after 3 straight hours of training, Superboy didn't even break a sweat and show no signs of fatigue. Naruto's stamina was almost on the same level, which is impressive. He is sweating and showed small signs of exhaustion after the second hour, but he would recover quickly to keep up with Superba. At this rate the two would have the basics mastered in no time. Superba prefers the grappling and throwing techniques to take down his opponents. He is learning to control his strength by channeling his anger. Of course, it is hard to see his true growth, as Naruto's superior speed allows him to evade all of Superba's attacks and counters. Then again, Naruto faces the same problem because all of his physical attacks are useless against Superba's steel-like body. Naruto prefers joint locks and throws, but Superba's superior strength allows him to quickly break free of joint locks, and the throws do no damage to the clone. The two make for perfect sparring partners, as it comes down to a battle of stamina to determine a winner. And a stamina battle between those two can last hours, as she witnessed. Am I late? Megan flies over to Superboy and Naruto. Superboy sniffs the air, looking at Megan curiously. A blush heats her cheeks. I was trying out a couple new recipes. Yo, I am ready to learn, teacher. Wally speeds into the room, stopping in front of Canary. He gives the older woman a wink. Your #1 student is here. Yeah, right. smirks Robin. Calder greets his teammates. It is good to see you all again. Now that everyone is here, we can begin team training. Canary types into the console. Suddenly, the room changes into an exact image of Star City. Large holographic buildings, cars, and other objects fill the room, placing them in the middle of the city. Naruto stares at a car next to him with a critical eye. There's something about this makes it seem like it is more than a hologram. Reaching out, he touches the car to find it quite solid. Robin smirks. It is the latest in light-bending technology. The objects are made solid. It is like creating something from nothing. No jutsu I know can do that, thinks Naruto in awe. Canary hits a couple more buttons and the streets fill with holographic people. The point of this team is to perform covert operations. As successful as your missions have been, you have failed to maintain cover on both missions. Naruto raises an eyebrow. Well, almost all of you have failed to be covert. It is a moot point because you succeed and fail as a team, not as individuals, states Canary. He decides to hold his tongue, not needing to point out that the missions succeeded due to him. The point of this exercise will be to retrieve several items while avoiding being spotted by civilians. With each item you retrieve, the difficulty will rise. August 3rd, 7:00 p.m. Good work, praises Canary. The team looks a little beat up, but had managed to pass the final team training test. She checks the time to see it is late. Okay, that will be enough for today. I will come back in 2 days and we will continue team training. A groan comes from Wally. I am taking a long shower. Wally pulls out his last chocolate bar and begins to munch on it. Hey Megan, want to go out tomorrow? I have some new recipes I want to try tomorrow. You are welcome to help out, offers Megan. On second thought, I have to get ready for school. It starts next week. Megan gains a jealous expression. You are so lucky. I wish I could go to school. Robin and Wally look at her as if she grew a second head. Naruto turns away from the group. He is planning to get a snack before heading for some nighttime training. There are a couple jutsu he wants to work on. Naruto, if you don't mind, I have a question on your powers. Calder walks over to the younger boy. The ninja pauses before turning to face Calder. A nod is given to let Calder know he can ask. Calder sends Megan a grateful look for establishing a mental link between the two. You are able to manipulate fire, wind, and earth. Are you able to manipulate any other elements? All elements, answers Naruto. Even water? Yes. Calder gains a pensive expression. I would like to test my own abilities against yours one day. My home, Atlantis, is known for its sorcery abilities using water. Though I did end my training prematurely when I became Aquaman's apprentice. I have never heard of Atlantis. It is an underwater kingdom, smiles Aqualad. A kingdom that is underwater, Naruto would like to see that. Show me this Atlantis one day and I will show you my skills in water jutsu, says Naruto. Aqualad smiles in amusement. It is a deal. Naruto throws up a wave before heading to the Zeta tubes. It is time to head home. August 7th, Megan watches as Naruto and Superba spar with each other. At first, she was worried that the two were going to take it out of hand. There was a good reason for that. Superba entered the kitchen to find Naruto sitting on the couch eating a bowl of rice. Naruto is watching the news as usual. Let's go to the training room. I am bored, says Superba. Naruto calmly takes a bite from his rice. He came to the cave to train and eat lunch with Megan. She asked him to try a couple of her new recipes. The former missing ninja is not one to turn down a free meal. Okay, nods the ninja. Naruto is getting better at understanding the English language, but still has trouble speaking it. Can't we just sit down and eat? Megan's voice trails off as the two boys left the room. Using her telekinetic powers to turn the oven and stove off, she flies after the two, hoping to end the fight before it starts. Naruto and Superboy ignored her the entire way to the training room. Once the two reached the simulator, Superboy activated the basic sparring program where a point would be awarded for each takedown. An hour later the two were still fighting. Megan sighs as she continues to watch the two. Her worries disappeared after the first 10 minutes. Despite the rather brutal way the two were fighting, she can sense that there is no real anger between the two. Okay, so she may have used her telepathy to scan their surface thoughts just to be sure. A loud thud hits the ground. Superboy stares at the ceiling in anger before rising to his feet. The clone stares at the score to see it is 22-0 in Naruto's favor. He knows that it is a spar and the two are not using the true extent of their abilities, but he hates losing, especially in a fight. Megan speaks up. Are you two getting tired? The two look at each other. No, they reply. How about we go to the beach and relax? I'll contact the others. Megan flies over to the console to send a message to Calder, Wally, and Robin. Superba and Naruto share a glance. Reluctantly, the two stand down knowing that Megan is not going to let the matter drop. Okay, I sent them all a message. I am sure that they will come. Now we need to get on our swimsuits. Megan closes her eyes. Her clothes begin to vanish, forming into a yellow bikini top with matching shorts. How do I look? She strikes a pose with her hands on her hips. Nice. Pretty. A blush burns Megan's cheeks at Naruto's comment. Superboy raises an eyebrow at Naruto's comment. Naruto stands there not feeling any shame in telling the truth. He knows that Superboy is thinking the same thing. It is obvious to see Superboy checking her out as much as the ninja. Ocean blue eyes discreetly run up Megan's long green legs, flat stomach, and cleavage. It makes the ninja wonder though if that is Megan's true body or just a form she shape-shifted into. She is 15 years old. Not many 15 years old have such well-defined curves, meaning that in order to be more appealing she could have fixed any small flaws, so to speak. Honestly though, he could care less. Thanks, blushes Megan. Recognized Robin, B01. Recognized Aqualad, B02. In dual beams of light, Robin and Aqualad appear. Yo! Waves Robin in civilian clothes. Hello, Wally won't be able to make it, says Calder. Laughter erupts from Robin. School started for him today, chuckles Robin. He is going to be so bummed out when he finds out we went to the beach without him. Well, since we are all here, let's get going, beams Megan. Superbo folds his arms across his chest. I don't have a swimsuit. Calder smile. I have that covered. Beach. It is such a beautiful day, smiles Megan. Robin raises his hand. Wait a moment, let's take a second to remember our fallen comrade. He lowers his head in dramatic fashion. Megan nods in agreement. Poor Wally. Naruto does have to admit that it is a beautiful day out. Perhaps Megan had the right idea. It is a good time to relax and enjoy a short break. Even the strongest of ninja need a break from missions and training to recharge. He walks away from the group, finding a nice spot in the sand to lay down. Closing his eyes, he enjoys the moment. Megan goes to call out to Naruto, but Calder places a hand on her shoulder. Leave him, he is enjoying the beach in his own way, reassures Calder. Megan gains a look of understanding. Time to go hit the waves, cheers Robin. August 7th, 8:00 p.m. Naruto walks towards the meeting area with Superba. The two have both changed into mission clothes. Or in Superba's case, his regular outfit. A feminine scent that Naruto doesn't recognize hits his nostrils. He keeps a calm expression, trying to recall the scent, but nothing comes to mind. Entering the main room, the others are all waiting. Miss Martian, Robin, and Aqualad are facing a new girl that is standing next to Green Arrow. She is a pretty girl with long blonde hair, olive tan skin, and dark gray eyes. Her long blonde hair is tied back in a ponytail. The girl's uniform is a midriff-bearing costume that highlighted her build. It is colored in various shades of green and consisted of a mask extending from the hairline to the cheekbones, a sleeveless top with a stylized arrow tip on the front, fingerless gloves, pants with black knee pads, and black combat boots. She has a black utility belt and pouch strapped on her left leg that were likely filled with assorted tools. Naruto, Superba, come meet the newest member of the team. It is Green Arrow's newest sidekick, Artemis, smiles Miss Martian. Superba glances at Naruto. Ever met her? Naruto shrugs, nope. Adding another member of the team doesn't sit well with him. There are 6 members on the team already. The larger the team, the harder it is to move in the shadows. At this rate, the team is going to have too many members on it to perform any type of covert mission. Aqualad watches the body language between Superba and Naruto. It makes him smile knowing that Naruto and Superba are getting along so well that the two can have a conversation non-verbally, and without a mental link. Recognize B03, Kid Flash. In a flash of light, Wally enters the base. The wall man is here. Wally slips, falling face forward, dropping the beach ball. It bounces past an unamused Batman. Wally looks up to see everyone looking at him. Wallman, huh? Great name, smirks Artemis. Wally stands up and looks at Robin. Who is this? Artemis, your new teammate. She is my new protege, says Green Arrow, placing a hand on her shoulder. What happened to your old one? Recognize Speedy, B04. Entering into the base is the former sidekick of Green Arrow. For one, he no longer goes by the name Speedy. A handsome boy dressed in a red and black uniform walks forward. Green Arrow is surprised. It has been a month since he last saw his protege. Speedy, you look replaceable. And the name is Red Arrow. Glares Red. Does she even know how to use that thing? Yes, she does. Glares Artemis. We still want you on the team. We have no quota on archers, says Aqualad. And if we did, you know who we would pick, smirks Wally. Artemis rolls her eyes. Whatever, Baywatch. I am here to stay. Aqualad decides to change the subject. You came to us for a reason. Dr. Sterling Rocket, answers Red Arrow. Robin quickly types up the name, bringing up multiple information on the woman. She is one of the leading researchers in nanotech. Went missing 2 weeks ago. Kidnapped by the League of Shadows 2 weeks ago. Wally's eyes light up. You want us to rescue her from the shadows? Score! Robin and Wally bump fists. Red Arrow reaches into his pouch, pulling out a small device. I already rescued her, but not before she was forced to create a device for them. A new image appears. It is a robotic-looking bug. It is known as the Fog. Thousands of nanobugs that can destroy everything in sight. The real power behind the nanobugs is their ability to store data. They infiltrate computer files, stealing all the data, giving the shadows information that can be used for extortion, money laundering, blackmail. Yeah, it sounds like the shadows, says Artemis. Like you know anything about the shadows, scoffs Wally. Artemis sends him a cocky smirk. Who are you? Right now she is stored at a local high school where she is safe. Green Arrow steps forward. Then let us keep her that way. Us? What about your new protege? Glares Red Arrow. Batman places a hand on Green Arrow's shoulder. Green Arrow gets the silent message. You brought this to the team, so it is her mission now too. Fine, then I am done. Red Arrow heads towards the exit. Recognized Speedy. The computer is interrupted. Update, Red Arrow B04. Those are his last words before the Zeta beams teleport him away. You have your mission. Head out, orders Batman. Aqualad confirms the coordinates. Coordinates received. Move out, team. Happy Harbor 11:59 p.m. Miss Martian, link us up. We don't want the shadows intercepting our communications, orders Aqualad. Miss Martian concentrates on every single member of the team. It takes about 2 seconds to connect everyone's mind. Done, everyone is connected. Great, on top of having to work on a prehistoric computer, now I have Teen Think in my head, grumbles a very annoyed Dr. Sterling Rocket. She is a pretty woman with shoulder-length blonde hair and baby blue eyes. Dr. Rocket wears a white coat over an emerald green shirt and black capris. Kid takes a bite of his chocolate bar. Lady, do you always complain to those that are trying to protect you? Artemis is sitting on the desk next to Dr. Rocket. She glances between Kid and Dr. Rocket. Pot, kettle, have you two met? I don't want to hear any lip from the one that drove Red Arrow from the team, glares Kid. That is so not my fault. Dr. Rocket grits her teeth before gesturing at the computer. Fate of the world at stake. Naruto is sitting on the roof with a bored expression. Fate of the world? That is an over-exaggeration. This woman thinks too much of her technology. He doesn't worry about his thoughts being heard by the others as he knows how to block the mental link. Years with Kurama taught him multiple ways to block mental intrusions. Sometimes he wanted to have a private conversation without Kurama voicing his yen, so he learned to block out the demon that resided within him. Using that same skill, he blocks Miss Martian's powers from relaying everything that goes on in his head. How about I help Miss Martian and Superba on the perimeter? Artemis stands up, leaving out of the room. Good idea, agrees Aqualad. He walks over towards the doctor. The virus won't be much help to us if we can't locate the weapon. Do you have a way to track it? It is not a weapon, it is science, brilliant science. She smiles, proud of her creation. And of course I can track it, but I would have to go online. Might as well put a sign assassinate me in neon lights above my head. Aqualad places a hand on her shoulder. Dr. Rocket looks up at him. The young man gives the doctor a reassuring smile. We will protect you. Nodding, she goes online, tracking the fog. Outside the school, Miss Martian is at the front gates with Artemis. A light thud makes the two girls turn around. Superba walks past them. That boy, smirks Artemis. Superba turns his head to look at Artemis. The archer stares at him, not ashamed that he heard her thoughts. He can hear you, we can all hear you, frowns Miss Martian. Oh, I know, smirks Artemis. Miss Martian, we are tracking the fog. I need you to reconfigure the bioship so that Robin, Superba, and Kid can fly it, orders Aqualad. On it. The bioship breaks camouflage, landing in front of the school. Kid is first one to arrive, giving Megan a flirtatious wink. Later, Megalicious, don't miss me too much. The speedster sends a glare at Artemis before running aboard the ship. Superboy and Robin soon board the ship. Flying off, the bioship soon disappears into the night. Megan waits until the mental link with Superba vanishes before turning to face Artemis. You embarrassed Superba back there. I didn't hear him complain. Must you challenge everyone? Where I am from, that is how you survive, responds Artemis. Megan frowns at the girl. The two girls are too busy arguing with each other that neither notices a figure leap over the fence. That figure heads straight towards the school. Break Cheshire hides in the bushes. Happy Harbor is a place she never heard of until this night. It is such a stupid name. But that doesn't matter at the moment. She received orders to kill Dr. Sterling Rocket, who is currently tracking the fog from somewhere inside this local high school. A strange place to hide considering that the school is so large. There are over a dozen ways to sneak inside. The school was a poor choice to defend the doctor. Her eyes land upon a green-skilled girl, a blonde, and a handsome young man walking the perimeter. That explains the poor decision to use the school as a base. Children are protecting the woman. This job will be easier than she originally thought. A sound makes her tense. Cheshire looks into the sky to see an alien ship appear out of thin air. It lands in front of the school. Her eyes narrow upon a fast-moving blur that turns out to be Flash's sidekick, Kid Flash. Kid Flash runs aboard the ship, followed by the handsome boy from before and Batman's sidekick Robin. The ship soon takes off into the distance. Now they are making it much too easy, smirks Cheshire. The green-skinned girl and blonde begin to argue, leaving a wide opening for Cheshire. Running towards the fence, she displays amazing acrobatic abilities by leaping to the top of the fence and landing on it with grace before leaping to the ground. Cheshire is about to enter the school when shadows from above make her slide backwards. The shadow turns out to be shuriken that embed in the ground where she had been standing. Danger fills her sense, and she spins around with arms raised. A punch slams into her arms. The power behind it sends her flying through the air. She twists around, landing on her feet and skidding backwards several more feet. Cheshire's eyes narrow upon her opponent. A boy several years younger than her stands across from her with a blank expression. She has to admit that he is very handsome. Not as muscular as the other boy, but definitely better looking. He has a handsome face with bright ocean blue eyes and spiky golden blonde hair. The boy wore a green flak vest over a long-sleeved black shirt, fingerless iron-clad blue gloves, white pants that were wrapped up at the shins, and open-toed black ninja sandals. "I am impressed you managed to see me," smirks Cheshire. "I was sure you were on the other side of the roof before I made my move." "English, not first language," replies Naruto. "Pity, I do enjoy a bit of banter." Cheshire launches a barrage of shuriken. In a movement almost too fast for her to follow, he draws a kunai and deflects the shuriken with ease. The shurikens serve their purpose in distracting him. She comes in on his right side with Seiya poised to plunge into his skin. He catches her left wrist before blocking the right side with his kunai. Fast, thinks Cheshire. A kick hits her in the stomach, launching her backwards. She twists around once again, landing on her feet. Strong too. "Over here!" Artemis comes around the corner, notching an arrow. "I got her." Change of plans? Cheshire drops a pellet on the ground. Black smoke erupts as Artemis shoots her arrow. "She got away," curses Artemis. Naruto turns around, preparing to head back to his post. "Our location is compromised. We should head to a new location," he reports over the mental link. "Agreed. Everyone prepare to move out." Aqualad pauses and incoming transmission comes in from Robin. Robin to Aqualad. "We are in Philadelphia and at Star Labs. It is completely destroyed. Star Labs is cutting-edge technology, and now it is in the hands of the enemy. What is our next move?" Aqualad gains a hard look. "We rescan for the fog. Break DR." Rocket sits at the computer typing away. Her eyes drift over to the person that is standing guard. The youngest member of the team that stayed behind to protect her is the one standing guard. He is leaning against the wall, staring up at the ceiling. Out of all the members on the team, he is the one that acts as if he wants nothing to do with protecting her. Aqualad promised to protect her, but she is not so sure that the kid with her will risk his life to keep that promise. Naruto has a bored expression on his face. Bodyguard missions used to be his bread and butter back in the elemental nations. He has more experience than the rest of the team can imagine. Of course, he didn't succeed in all his missions. He tried his best, but he did lose 2 clients. In his defense, the clients were killed by Jounin-level ninjas that Naruto couldn't beat at the time. Had it happened later on after he developed the Sharingan, the result might have turned out differently. No guarantee, but he is confident that with the Sharingan he is on the same level as any Jounin. He did manage to kill several members of the Akatsuki ninja that were borderline Kage level. The difference is that I had Kurama too. A ninja never overestimates his ability. The truth is that he never would have defeated those Akatsuki ninja without Kurama. And without the demon, he lost the ability to spam high-level jutsu. His chakra has been cut down from Kage to Chunin level. On the plus side, his Chunin level chakra control is at Jounin level. Even in the negative, there is some positive. He has to focus on the positive in order to grow. "The virus is complete. I am uploading it now," smirks Dr. Rocket. "Naruto. One of the assassins managed to escape and is heading towards your location." Naruto reaches out, catching a shuriken before tossing it back at the source. Out of the shadows emerges Cheshire. "You are no fun at all." Cheshire rushes at Naruto. He draws a pair of kunai, easily parrying her sais. Gritting her teeth, she pulls out all her moves to break his defense. A swift movement knocks both sai away before a knee buries into her gut. She falls to her knees, coughing up blood. "Good thing I didn't come alone," smirks Cheshire. A figure bursts out of the shadows behind Dr. Rocket. It never gets close to her when a kick drills into the person's stomach, sending them through the building wall. Naruto stares at the newcomer. Clearly female, though human is up for debate. She possesses short white spiky hair, putrid green eyes that are slits instead of pupils, and scale-like skin. On skin, tight green outfit that reveals her curvaceous form, along with gauntlets with metal claws that are dripping with poison. "Take him down, Copperhead, I'll handle the doctor," orders Cheshire. "Futon de Tapa." Naruto claps his hands together. Fierce gale force winds erupt from his body, blasting Cheshire and Copperhead out of the building. The ninja calmly walks through the hole in the wall. Dr. Rocket kneels behind a computer, watching in awe. I am going to enjoy drinking his blood, smirks Copperhead. She darts forward at surprising speeds. Naruto draws a kunai blocking her incoming slashes. He is impressed with her speed. This is the fastest opponent he has faced so far. Still, it is not fast enough. Spinning around, he kicks Copperhead away before tossing a kunai at Cheshire, who tried to sneak past him. Cheshire scowls, leaping backwards to avoid the kunai. Copperhead darts forward, moving like a snake to attack from various angles. Naruto is unable to keep up with her movements. She gets behind him and sinks her fangs into his throat. Your blood is... Copperhead's eyes widen as mud fills her mouth. Naruto turns into mud. Cheshire gasps as a hand bursts out of the ground, grabbing her ankle. She is pulled straight down into the ground up to her neck. Naruto bursts out the ground behind the buried Cheshire. He stares at Copperhead. Surrender, you should. He speaks in broken English. Copperhead flicks her tongue, ready to keep on fighting. She freezes up as she picks up on several new scents heading towards them. Another time, hero. Next time we meet, I will drain you dry, smirks the woman. She takes off running, disappearing into the night. Naruto looks down at the struggling Cheshire. A kick to the head knocks her out cold. Copperhead, she had skill. He almost had to use his Sharingan to keep up with her. Good thing that he created that mud clone earlier. It allowed him to make a switch before Copperhead was able to poison him with her fangs. The way she fought was unlike any he ever encountered. Almost like wrestling with a snake. Next time he will be better prepared. You saved me, says Dr. Rocket. English, not my language, replies Naruto. Rocket flushes in embarrassment. This whole time she thought he was cold and uncaring, but the truth was that he didn't speak to her because he didn't speak English well. Naruto! Megan flies over to him, landing on the ground. Are you okay? Naruto raises an eyebrow. Megan looks over to see the assassin from earlier buried in the ground. A smile appears on her face. I guess I worried for no reason at all. You managed to capture her, good work, praises Aqualad. He turns to face Dr. Rocket. Robin managed to upload the virus, destroying the fog. Artemis walks over to the unconscious Cheshire. She reaches down, removing the mask. Her eyes widen in horror. Jade? Naruto catches the look Artemis gives upon seeing Cheshire's true identity. He files it away for later. Could you tell him I said thank you? Asks Dr. Rocket. Megan smiles. I already did. Naruto looks at Dr. Rocket. Welcome. He is still working on his English, explains Miss Martian. Red Tornado contacted the local authorities. They are going to take care of the assassins. We will take Dr. Rocket back to the cave where she can use the Zeta tube to head back home, says Aqualad. Artemis, you did good work today. Welcome to the team. Artemis looks away, trying not to stare at the unconscious Jade. Miss Martian approaches Artemis. It is great to finally have another girl on the team. A small smile forms on Artemis's face. Mount Justice took down the League of Shadows. Smirks kid. Robin smirks and the two friends bumped fists. Naruto ignores the two. He glances at Aqualad. Ocean blue eyes harden. Megan, please link me with Aqualad. Megan looks at Naruto curiously. She nods, doing as he asked. Link established, says Megan. Calder looks at Megan in confusion upon hearing her voice in his head. Naruto walks over to Aqualad. Aqualad, I did not approve of the team assignments on this mission, Superboy speaks up. Are you two having a mental conversation? The clone frowns, not liking that one bit. Megan looks at Naruto in worry. The ninja gives a nod to the Martian girl. She smiles gratefully before connecting everyone's mind. As I was saying, I did not approve of the team assignments on this mission, starts Naruto. Wally speaks up with an annoyed look. Calder is the team, silence Wally, orders Calder. Naruto has the right to voice his opinion like everyone else on the team. Please continue. Naruto gains a bit more respect for Aqualad. Superboy should have stayed behind to protect Dr. Rocket, and Artemis should have been sent on the team to hunt down the fog. Superba and Artemis look at Naruto, not understanding why their placement upset him. Superba's invulnerability makes him ideal for taking blows that would kill a normal person. It makes him the ideal shield. Artemis has long-range capabilities that would have allowed her to take out the person controlling the fog from a distance, possibly preventing damage to Wayne Tech. She could have even used her explosive arrows to possibly destroy the fog if the virus failed. A silence fills the room. He does have a point, agrees Robin. Superboy is the perfect shield. None of the assassins you all fought had the power to harm him. But there is no way Calder could have known what assassins were coming, argues Kid, which is even more of a reason that I should have had Superboy stay behind to act as a shield. If someone with super strength and invulnerability had been sent, Superboy would have been the ideal person to take them on while we fell back to protect the doctor, admits Calder. And I was worried about Artemis being a rookie that I kept her close instead of putting her where she could have been utilized most. Calder lowers his head. Naruto is right, I made a poor call on the team assignments. Superboy frowns, why bring this up now? The mission is over and we completed it. I wasn't going to start an argument during a mission. And I didn't bring this up to try to oust Aqualad as leader. Naruto stares straight at Aqualad. I brought this up in order to help future missions. He turns, heading towards the Zeta tubes. In a flash of light, Naruto is gone. That guy really gets under my skin, huffs Wally. Calder gains a small smile. He is looking out for us in his own way. If he truly didn't care, then he wouldn't have said anything at all. Megan smiles. Do you think he will ever see us as more than a team? In time, I have no doubts. Chapter 6: Invitations. Once again our plans have been thwarted by the young heroes, says L1. L2 speaks up, activating a video screen that depicts one of the young heroes. It seems the one responsible for the majority of thwarting our plans is this one. According to our inside source, his name is Naruto Uzumaki. He has no codename. The screen zooms in on Naruto. Another screen portrays Naruto's battle with Amazo. Such skill and abilities, he fights like an assassin, speaks L4. Do we know anything else on him? Other than he has the ability to manipulate the elements, we know nothing about him, says L3. That is not entirely true, says L2. I believe that this young hero is the recent hero that popped up in Tokyo several months ago. He does fit the description minus a few details. L1 gains an interested tone. That would mean he has no mentor to guide him. Perhaps the light can offer him a better career path. August 16. The ringing sound causes Higurashi to look up from the counter. The 50-year-old man watches as a kid enters into his shop. It is a kid that he recognizes from previous visits. Higurashi raises an eyebrow before speaking a gruff manner. Come back for more kunai and shuriken? No, I have come searching for a katana. Higurashi would usually scowl and go back to reading if any other customer said that to him. Most people these days come into his store looking for something cool. Tourists come in all the time not knowing the history or value of the weapons he sells. No appreciation for the blood and sweat that he pours into making each weapon. He grew so tired of seeing his weapons fall into the hands of fools that he stopped putting out most of true weapons. Almost all of the weapons on display and for sale are imitations he created to act as decorations. The fools that buy them, especially those wannabe Yakuza brats, have no idea that the weapons they purchase are mere rip-offs. He doesn't feel the least bit guilty selling such weapons. The true crime would be allowing his masterpieces to gather dust or be used improperly. Better they stay with him than in the hands of those that can't appreciate true works of art. This child is no tourist or fool. No, this kid has an eye. First time the brat entered the store, he looked around before approaching the counter. Higurashi was shocked that the kid asked him if he sold any true weapons. Naruto stares at Higurashi. I am looking for real weapons. Do you sell any? Got a problem with my store, brat? These decorations are useless to me. I wish to purchase true steel, not cheap imitations, replies Naruto. A child with a true appreciation for the art of weapon making. It almost made him cry in joy that there is hope for the future generations. Over here, Higurashi walks over to the wall at the right side of the store. Dozens of swords of various sizes are mounted on the wall. Under these swords is a sign that reads displays, not real swords. It is humorous to see people glance at the sign and walk away from the swords without even inspecting them. I recommend a smaller sized katana due to your size, states the blacksmith. Naruto examines the weapons. I don't have the money to buy one at the moment. We can work out a payment plan. Just choose the one you like, smirks Higurashi. A nod comes from Naruto. Naruto reaches out, grabbing a katana with a black hilt and a teardrop-shaped guard. The blade is 42 inches long with a wavy design that gleams in the light. Testing the weight and balance first, he makes sure that he enjoys the feel of the blade. Once he is acquainted with the weight and balance, he takes a few steps back before placing a second hand on the hilt. In a smooth motion, he swings the sword in a downward slash, then twists his hands, making a thrust. Naruto releases the hilt with his left hand, reaching up to catch a black sheath. A good choice. The sword costs 100,000 yen. Make payments of 2,000 yen a month and it is yours. Placing the sheath on his waist, Naruto expertly sheathes the sword with a light click. He reaches into his pouch and pulls out 5,000 yen. I will be back next month to make another payment, says Naruto. Higurashi smirks. I'll have some more kunai and shuriken ready for you by then. Thank you. A chuckle comes from the clerk. The brat has good taste, smirks Higurashi. August 18th, 7:06 p.m. Initiate combat training. Calder and Superboy begin to circle each other. Superboy smirks, ready to test out a few new moves. Begin in 3, 2, 1, start. The two charge at each other. Calder throws a couple punches that Superboy dodges. Megan, Artemis, and Wally are watching the two spar. Wally is barely paying attention as he munches on a banana with barely any decency. Artemis and Megan both have their eyes locked onto the shirtless Superboy. Both girls enjoy the view of his muscles. Calder is nice. You and him would make a great couple, suggests Artemis. Calder? He is like an older brother. Megan smiles as she glances at Wally. I think you and Wally would make the cutest couple. You are so vibrant and full of life, and Wally is so full of it, smirks Artemis. Laughter comes from the two girls. A new voice makes both girls jump in surprise. Who next? Naruto stands on Artemis's left watching the spar. Artemis is shocked. She never noticed him until he spoke. When did he get there? How long was he there for? Naruto, when did you get here? Asks Megan. 5 minutes ago. Megan is stunned by that answer. How did she not notice him for 5 minutes? It really does scare her that he is able to sneak up on her like that. No one is next. Superba and Calder are sparring since we haven't had a mission in a while, answers Megan. Do you two always have to speak telepathically? Frowns Artemis in annoyance. Sorry, Megan opens a link with Artemis. Naruto still has trouble talking in English. He can understand it, but it is hard for him to string words together. Canary has been so busy with the league she hasn't had much time to teach him lately. Artemis does feel a bit bad for getting upset. It is not his fault that English isn't his first language. Still, telepathy is not her favorite way to communicate. She doesn't realize that Naruto and Megan hear her thoughts. Megan changes it so that Artemis can think without portraying her thoughts over the mental link. Did you want to spar next? I am thinking about it, replies Naruto. Megan cuts the link as Naruto walks around the training area to go check out the computer. Is it just me or are you too close? Asks Artemis with a slight gleam. A blush starts to heat Megan's cheeks. It isn't like that. She waves her arms frantically. I am just the first person that Naruto could communicate with. I am his link to the others, so it is only natural we are close. Artemis smirks. If you say so. She takes a good look at Naruto. I have to admit that he is pretty cute. I do like the blonde hair. Megan takes a good look at Naruto. It is true that he is handsome. Superboy has a more rugged handsome and Naruto has a more preppy handsome look. I guess he is pretty handsome. admits Megan. Calder is slammed to the ground, interrupting the rest of the conversation. I learned that one from Canary, smirks Superboy. Superboy extends his hand, helping Calder up. Training simulation over. Red tornado flies down from above. The robot lands on the ground, planning to go about its own business. Hey! Wally runs in front of Red Tornado. Do you happen to have a mission for us? Mission details are Batman's area. True, but the Batman is out with the Robin doing the dynamic duo. So we thought you could help us out. If you are not busy, smirks Wally. Calder steps forward, speaking in a more respectful tone. If we can be of help. Red Tornado begins to type, opening up a large screen. On that screen it portrays an old man in a suit with a cane. This is Kent Nelson, he is 106 years old. Wally nudges Artemis. Doesn't look a day over 90. He chuckles at his own joke. Artemis ignores the speedster. Kent Nelson was a charter member of the Justice Society, a precursor to your mentor's Justice League. Explains Red Tornado. The image changes to reveal a man in blue and gold tights with matching cape and helmet. Calder recognizes that image immediately. Of course, Nelson was Earth's Sorcerer Supreme. He was Dr. Fate. A snort comes from Wally. He leans over to Artemis. More like Dr. Fake. Guy knows a little advanced science and Dumbledore it up to magic, says Wally. Kent could be on one of his walkabouts, but he is the holder of the helmet of fate. It is unwise to leave such power unguarded, says Red Tornado. He is like the great priests and priestess of Mars. I would be honored to help him, says Megan. Me too. Magic totally rocks, smirks Wally. Artemis rolls her eyes. The speedster walks over to Megan with a flirtatious smile. What are the chances we are both so into the mystic arts? Red Tornado hands Calder a golden key. Take this, use it to unlock the Tower of Fate. You will need to take a leap of faith. Magic? Naruto gains a curious expression. What is magic? He never heard of that word. Perhaps it is a source of power like chakra. He decides to join the team on this mission. He wants to learn more about this magic. Bio's ship. Artemis glances over at Wally. So Wally, when did you start believing in magic? Wally leans back in his seat with a cocky smirk. I have always been into the mystic arts. He glances over at Megan as he continues to lie out of his ass. Before coming Kid Flash, I seriously considered a career in magic. Lies Wally. Naruto barely understands the speedster, but he is able to detect that everything that Wally is saying is a complete lie. Then again, most of the time Wally talks it is a lie or made-up story. Wally spends so much time trying to impress Megan that it is a miracle that the speedster survived any of the missions. A clown like that would have died on a D-rank mission in the ninja world. We are here, says Megan. The bio ship stays in camouflage mode as it lands in the middle of a park. Immediately the team spreads out to find the Tower of Fate. Naruto can sense a strange power in the atmosphere. He walks around the park at a leisurely pace trying to find the source of the power. Upon reaching the center of the park he pauses. Confusion fills him. There is something here, but he can't see it at all. You will need to take a leap of faith, says Red Tornado. The ninja gains a pensive expression. Suddenly, an idea comes to him. How does one hide a tower in plain sight? Genjutsu. Chakra begins to flow to his eyes. Ocean blue eyes bleed red. The world becomes much clearer. Sharingan spins around, piercing through the air. Slowly an image forms in front of Naruto. In front of him is the Tower of Fate, or at least an outline of the tower. Whatever power is hiding the tower is very strong. Even his fully matured Sharingan can't fully pierce the illusion. Wally frowns. I don't see anything. What do you think? Highly advanced microelectric phase shifting technology? Suggests Artemis. A surprised expression appears on Wally's face. He never expected Artemis to know so much when it came to advanced science. It impresses him. Totally. Megan comes walking up behind him. Not clearly it is mystic powers at work, finishes Wally. Artemis scowls. It is here. Megan turns to look at Naruto. Naruto found it. She flies over to him. The rest of the team gathers around Naruto. Where is it? Asks Wally. It is hidden under a strong illusion, says Naruto to Megan. Naruto says that it is under an illusion. Wally scoffs. Come on. The guy is clearly not right in the head. Calder steps forward offering Naruto the key. Can you see the door? Naruto takes the key and turns around. The ninja thrusts the key forward into an invisible hole. A turn to the right and an unlocking sound fills the air. Suddenly, the Tower of Fate materializes in front of the team. Behind the team, the air shimmers to reveal a tied-up Ken Nelson with two other individuals. The boy holding the cat looks at the man with the wand. Hey Abracadabra, aren't you using adaptive microelectric phase-shifting technology? Abra grumbles. Yes. The team enters into the Tower of Fate. Upon entering the tower, the door behind them vanishes. Hey, where did the door go? Frowns Superba. A holographic image of Ken Nelson appears in front of the team. You have entered with a key, but the tower doesn't recognize you. Please state your reason for visiting, says Nelson. Wally steps forward desperately trying to impress Megan. We are true believers come here to seek out Dr. Fate. Nelson smirks before his image vanishes. Suddenly, the ground underneath team breaks away, making them all fall down a huge hole. At the bottom of the drop is a pool of magma waiting to melt them alive. Megan grabs onto Wally. Artemis draws a crossbow, firing it at the cavern wall. The arrow embeds into the wall, and she swings around, catching Calder. Superba plummets straight downward before reaching out, digging his fingers into the wall. He slides down until his feet dip into the magma, burning away his shoes in a second. Ah! Screams Superba. Superba pulls and looks down at his feet. Those were my favorite boots. This Nelson guy better be worth it. Where is Naruto? Exclaims Aqualad. The team looks around trying to find him. Naruto? Yells Megan telepathically. The team winces at the volume. A calm voice replies, making everyone relax. I am here. The team looks around trying to find the ninja but are unable to locate him. Above you. All of them look up to see Naruto standing on the side of the cavern as if it were solid ground. Naruto calmly walks down the wall with a bored expression. Okay, seriously, how are you doing that? Asks Artemis. It is the question on everyone's mind. Naruto leaps off the wall, falling down past Megan and Wally before sticking back to the wall. He reaches out, grabbing the Martian girl. With ease he pulls her to his body while tossing Wally over towards Artemis. Kunai sails through the air, pinning Wally to the cavern wall next to Artemis and Aqualad. Dude, shouts Wally, gulping. She couldn't hold you much longer. Extreme heat seems to weaken Megan, says Naruto. Climb on my back. The heat doesn't affect me. Megan gives a grateful nod before hovering up into the air and gently lowering down onto his back. Sweat pours down her face. You are changing the subject. How are you walking on the wall? Demands Artemis. Calder interrupts. We can save that question for later. Megan and I physiology is susceptible to extreme heat. If we don't find a way out, we won't be able to last much longer. Hello, Megan! Megan pants. We never truly answered the question. Naruto looks at her curiously. She starts speaking aloud. We have come here on a mission from Red Tornado, to find Ken Nelson and the Helmet of Fate. A platform forms over the magma. Superbo lands on the platform, followed by Naruto. He crouches down, allowing Megan to climb off his back. Artemis and Calder are the last two to land. Calder touches the platform. This platform should be hot, but it is cool to the touch. Wally walks over towards Megan. Great thinking, Megalicious. Enough! Artemis places a hand on Wally's chest and slams him up against the cavern wall. This impress Megan at all costs needs to stop. What I do is none of your business. It is when you almost get us all fried. Lying about being a true believer. Megan frowns. Wally, you don't believe? The speedster pushes off against the wall. Fine, I don't believe. But magic is the true lie. It is all a bunch of smoke and glass. Everything can be explained through science, states Wally. Wally, I studied for 2 years at the Conservatory for Sorcery in Atlantis. Magic is what powers my water bearers, says Calder. Ever heard of bioelectricity? In some primitive cultures, fire used to be considered magic. Wally waves his hands. All that can be explained through science. Artemis scowls. You are pretty close-minded for a guy who can break the sound barrier in his sneakers. That is science. I recreated Flash's laboratory experiment, and Viola, here I am. Retorts Wally. Let us test that theory. Calder goes to open the panel. Wait, the backdraft from the lava will roast us alive, shouts Wally. The panel is lifted up, and instead of a backdraft of heat, a cold breeze followed by snow hits the team. It is snow, smiles Megan. Do you ever get tired of being wrong? Smirks Artemis. One by one, the team leaps through the whole, landing in a brand new place that is covered in snow. There are mountains of snow as far as the eye can see. Artemis cocky smirk at Wally. Wally scowls before explaining the situation. Ever heard of string theory? This is a pocket dimension. Artemis rolls her eyes. Naruto watches as the hole between the two places closes up, leaving them trapped in this new world. He has never encountered anything like this magic. This is not an illusion. Somehow all of them were taken from one area and instantly taken to a new location. It reminds him of those space-time jutsu that Kurama told him about. Or a summoning jutsu. He wanted to learn about this magic and possibly recreate the abilities of magic through jutsu. What is that? Megan points ahead. Up ahead is a black cane with a golden handle. Oh, maybe it is Nelson's wand, says Wally sarcastically. Artemis walks forward and reaches out to grab the cane. Wally speeds forward. The two grab the cane at the same time. I got it, says Artemis/Wally. I can't let go. The cane lifts the two into the air. In a burst of magic, the two vanish along with the cane, grabbing an object that has its own power source. Idiots, thinks Naruto. Superba doesn't know it, but he has the same thoughts as Naruto. Megan shakes her head. Do you think Wally will believe in magic after that? Wally uses science to understand things that are out of his control. To admit that magic exists would be to let go of that control. Give him time, I am sure he will come around eventually, explains Calder. I see, says Megan. Naruto points ahead. On top of one of the snow banks is a doorway. The team heads towards the doorway. A gasp escapes the team as the doorway drops them into a new area. Calder and Superboy slam face first into the ground. Naruto twists around, landing with grace. Megan hovers down, touching lightly on her feet. The team is now in a giant labyrinth that has stairs that lead upside, sideways, and downward. These friends of yours? Says an older voice. Naruto turns to see Kent Nelson a short distance away with Artemis and Wally. Get them! Everyone turns to see Clarion the Witch Boy and Abracadabra. Kadabra lifts up his wand, launching several bolts of lightning at the team. Naruto dodges to the side. Calder screams out in pain as a bolt strikes him and forms a barrier that electrocutes him every time he moves. Friends of yours? Wally uses his speed to dodge several bolts. Kent flies into the air, heading straight towards the bell. Landing next to the bell, Kent taps it with his cane, making a large gong fill the area. The old wizard steps through the bell. Clarion follows, flying straight into the bell. Wally, go after Nelson, shouts Artemis. Wally speeds straight into the bell, vanishing like Nelson and Clarion. A bolt of lightning strikes Artemis, trapping her like Calder. Megan lifts Kadabra into the air with her telekinetic powers. Kadabra vanishes into thin air, shocking the Martian girl. Behind you! Superboy leaps at Kadabra, who reappears behind Megan. The villain points his wand at Superboy, striking him with a bolt of lightning. A scream of pain comes from Superba as he is electrocuted and trapped like Artemis and Calder. Superba! Her moment of distraction allows Kadabra to strike her with a bolt of lightning. She is soon on the ground, trapped in a cage of lightning like the others. Pathetic, smirks Kadabra. A kunai sails through the air, slicing through Kadabra's wand. What? The wand clatters to the ground in 2 pieces. Naruto lands in front of the shocked wizard. Jumping up to deliver a spin kick, Kadabra hits the ground knocked out cold. The lightning cages trapping his team disappear with the destruction of the wand. Thanks, says Calder. We need to help Wally and Nelson. The ninja places a palm on the bell. It is solid as a rock. Naruto wishes he knew more about magic. Magic seems to be even more versatile than his own jutsu. How do we get to the idiot? Says Artemis, tapping on the bell. I can't open a link to his mind, frowns Megan. Calder dusts off his pants. We will have to leave it to Wally then. Tokyo, 1:00 p.m. In a flash of light, Naruto appears in an alley. Going from midnight to day is a huge change that might throw off the sleep schedule of most individuals. Naruto is not a normal person by any stretch. He moves with incredible speed, going straight up a building. Touching down on the roof, he begins to leap from building to building. The mission to find Ken Nelson and the Helmet of Fate was a success. Wally retrieved the Helmet of Fate before Clarion the Witch Boy could steal it. In the process, though, Ken Nelson passed away. Naruto didn't focus on that part. Nelson was 106 years old, meaning he lived longer than most people. As a missing ninja, he encountered death all the time, so he was used to it. Speaking of death, he landed on the roof and swung his arm, tossing several shuriken. Gunshots fill the air as the shuriken are shot out of the air. I guess the rumors about you were true. A tall, slender man with long white hair tied back in a ponytail steps out of the shadows. His armor is primarily black and gray, with goldenrod greaves and gauntlets. He wears a matching goldenrod mask with a black area that obscures the right half of his face, including his missing eye. He wears a utility belt with pouches, and sheaths for a sword and staff on his back. Naruto stands there, not making a comment. Oh right, I forgot that you don't speak English. Can you understand me now? You may call me Deathstroke, asks the armored assassin. I understood you fine. I am choosing not to speak. The man chuckles in amusement. Cold-blooded, I like that. There is a high price on your head. Killing you would make me rich. The man points a gun at Naruto. Naruto stands calmly, not in the least bit intimidated. Lucky for you, I have come with a message. Powerful people have taken an interest in your abilities. They are offering you a chance to work for them. Do so and you will be rewarded with anything that you desire. And should I decline? I will have to carry out my second message. Naruto stares at the assassin. I decline. Gunshots fill the air. Deathstroke's eyes narrow as Naruto moves so fast. Spinning around, Deathstroke draws a second gun, opening fire at Naruto, who continues to run circles around the assassin. Shuriken come at Deathstroke from all angles. The guns are knocked out of his hands. In a swift movement, Deathstroke draws his sword, locking blades with Naruto's kunai. You are good, but not good enough. Deathstroke aims a low kick at Naruto. Naruto slides backwards, doing just as Deathstroke wanted. The assassin darts forward, ready to make the killing blow. Flipping backwards, Naruto kicks the sword upward with his right foot before striking Deathstroke in the chest with his left foot. As he comes back up, he tosses shuriken at Deathstroke. Deathstroke prepares to use his sword to deflect the shuriken. Futon, Repusho. Naruto thrusts his hand forward, creating a gale force wind that increases the speed and power of the shuriken. Pain fills Deathstroke as the shuriken slice through his armor, cutting up his body. Naruto is about to continue the assault, but a strange sound makes him look down. 3 small black devices glow red before exploding. Deathstroke runs toward the edge of the roof. This isn't over. The assassin leaps off the roof, activating his jetpack, flying off into the distance. The smoke clears to reveal Naruto unharmed. That assassin was good. Definitely not a normal human. Naruto turns around. He continues to leap through Tokyo. Unknown location. Deathstroke stands in a white room surrounded by screens. On those screens are 6 different individuals whose identities are hidden. So the child turned down the offer, says L3. He must be treated as an enemy. Do not be so quick to jump to conclusions. It is a minor setback, says L2. We must give him time to see the benefits of joining the light. I agree, He would make for the perfect assassin. He has proven to defeat all the others, states L4. Deathstroke's single eye narrows. The child surprised me with a few tricks. Next time he won't be so lucky. L1 ignores Deathstroke's comment. Your failure has been noted. Until we are in need of your services again, you are dismissed. Deathstroke turns around, leaving the room. The assassin already has his own plans in motion.